Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Captain Quasar, and welcome back to another unofficial H3 waiting room. We've got quite a few things to talk about today. We're going to try and get through all of them. We're going to try and finish the BadEmpanada video, the content poop. It's actually such a shite video, if I'm being completely honest. But, you know, what are you going to do? So we're going to get into it all right now. Let's get started. Thank you everybody for coming in. This isn't the right page. Here we go. So first things first, this was just kind of funny. So someone said, did Rhett kidnap Alfredo? And for a second I was like, wait, what? And then I was like, oh, this is just a Photoshop. Pretty well done. Pretty good little overlay. So I went to look for the original to see how much the dog actually looked like Alfredo, and I was like, you know what? It does look like Alfredo, but here's the thing I think. I think that this looks like a dissection of Alfredo and Alfrico. Like, look at the face here. Put this face on this dog, and that's Alfredo. And this is the embodiment of Alfrico, his dark half. But just a little something, a little goof. Damn, they really have... nearly 20 million subscribers. Woo! Woo! Gotta give props to the goats, the true goats. You have to bow down every once in a while. Close that. Shout out to the girl with a microphone. She reversed Casey Tron's curse on that Casey Tron did on her after show, her after party podcast. It's Hassan. Go check out Hassan lies about ISIS hexing Casey Tron. H3 after party number 5. Great stuff in here. I'm just gonna watch the clip because it's a bit of a longer segment that they cut this out of. So shout out. Oop.
I call upon the deity Talia, the ruler of art and culture, also presider of comedy, to which we say, audio, 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 audio. To open up our blessing, may we contain this misfortune, cease it, and re-gift it tenfold to sender. We wish peace and love.
The cat sees the spirits. Did you guys notice that? Look, the cat keeps looking up.
Pain this and for demon mode Ethan to take his mortal fortunes, and for demon mode Ethan to take his mortal form to show those in the dark the infinite light. This is very poetic. May he love the capital H on he. Yeah, we're never beating the cult allegations. You're right. May he show them true comedy. I close this reversal with angels unto every chatter in this room's body. For with your energy, we have reversed this curse with positive intentions.
What are you going to do now, Casey Tron? You got. And guess what? We already put a protection spell. We've already enacted a protection spell, so... you're actually kind of fucked now. Rip to Ozzy Osbourne. But then Hassan thinks his wife sucks. So that needed to be said for some reason.
Topic Ozzy Osbourne died. Yeah, I know. I heard. R.I.P. to Ozzy Osbourne. His wife sucks, for sure.
And I saw, where did I see it actually? I had seen somebody basically trying to say that that Ozzy Osbourne had performed in Israel and supported Israel, and that should not be forgotten. And I had read some comments. I don't know what the validity is, but they had said that his last concert in Israel was before October 7th. So it's just like anybody that's had any adjacency to Israel ever and it showed any support for Israel is just fair game, regardless of the circumstance they're in. Like, come on. Don't forget, you're saying shit like this. Her and Ozzy had a suicide pact. I know he didn't kill himself, but gotta look out for her, you know? She's going through a lot right now. But, I guess, again, we can't care about two things at once. The Palestinian cause is much more important, so fuck Sharon, right? I guess. It's because she spoke out against Kneecap specifically. Okay. That's why she sucks, and that's why, like, bro. And then here's a reason why Hassan sucks, because Hassan's standing 10 toes down on Nelkschenby Nuremberg. Prosecution of propagandists at Nuremberg. The wrongs which we seek to condemn and punish have been so calculated, so malignant, and so devastating that civilization cannot tolerate their being ignored, because it cannot survive their being repeated. Justice Robert H. Jackson, United States Chief of Counsel, Nuremberg, November 21st, 1945. In October 1945, the International Military Tribunal indicted 24 German officers as major Nazi war criminals. Of those, 21 men stood trial in Nuremberg. How the fuck does this relate in any way to, like, to the Nelk, like the Nelk guys? Are they fucking idiots, and are they the biggest dumbasses ever? Yes, and we'll talk about it, because look, we'll watch this real quick. Basically, Kyle from Nelk details setup for Netanyahu interview. 12 hours notice, and got the invite when he was drunk. Handed a list of questions, claims to have not followed them closely. Tried their best, admits he should have grilled him harder. So this is interesting, because what this makes me think is, this is complete conspiracy theory, right? But it seems a little plausible now, is that this was definitely like some plan by Trump to try and get people like on the side of Netanyahu, because he was like, hey, I became a president because I went on Aiden Ross. It's the only way. And so he was like, Netanyahu, go on Nelk. Trump was on Nelk too, I guess, but it's so fucking crazy. Let's listen to this.
Where did happen the last you recorded?
Oh yeah, and I completely forgot. Oh, Ozzy Osbourne died, and immediately Trisha had her baby. First the queen, or was it the queen, the king? First the queen, then the Pope. Now Ozzy Osbourne. It's gonna be a fun household. But anyways, back to what's important.
Where did happen the last you recorded with?
The interview with Netanyahu?
Yeah.
That was in the White House.
In the White House?
In the White House.
Oh.
So what happened is, we got the opportunity to interview.
This is like super quiet. One sec, sorry. I was 300.
Where did happen the last you recorded with?
The interview with Netanyahu?
Yeah.
Why is
That
this
was
still so
in the
quiet?
White House.
In the White House?
In the White House.
Oh.
So,
It's like glitching the fuck out. I can't like boost it anymore. Let me restart the page, maybe?
You recorded with.
I just don't understand why my booster isn't working.
the interview with Netanyahu?
Yeah.
That was in the White House.
I guess, sorry, I'm going to put on closed captions and try and boost it as much as I can on my end. Does that work?
Where did happen the last you recorded with?
The interview with Netanyahu?
Yeah.
That was in the White House.
In the White House?
In the White House.
Oh.
So what happened is, we got the opportunity to interview him, and then we said yes, and it was actually I think we had 12 hours notice. So they called us the day before,
Okay.
and we were actually we were doing a stream
Where?
in Miami,
Okay.
and we were I was drunk when we got the call.
Yeah.
It was on a stream. It was on a stream that you guys could see it, and they said, "Do you guys want to come do it?" So.
How is it like, that these are the guys that you want to be your like advocates? These are the guys that are supposed to like represent America talking to BB. Come on. One sec, I forgot my fan was on. Don't need a bunch of senseless noise. Yeah, I still can't believe it happened. It still feels like a fever dream.
We said, I mean, fuck it, let's do it. We went there the next day, and then while we were there, we have some friends at the White House, so they invited us to come see the White House. So we went there, and we met, saw one of our friends, and then we met the press secretary, Carolyn. So she's like Trump's press secretary. So we toured the White House, and then they took us to this place called the Blair House.
Okay.
So that's where all the anyone that visits the U.S.
Yeah, he's talking about Carolyn Levitt, right? This is like what they're doing on their like in their day to day. Trump and his appointees, they're just talking to the Nelk boys, telling them what they need to do. Be like, remember, you're our best and our brightest. Fucking hell. Oh my god.
That's where they stay. So anyone that's visited the U.S. since like all throughout history, they stay at the Blair House.
The Blair House?
Yeah, so that's where we did the interview. So we walked in, and there was just like 20 people in suits there.
Yeah.
The setup was already there. Both flags, we couldn't touch anything or move anything.
And they don't give you any restrictions like don't ask this.
He's fucking hanging out with Ilya Taporia. I didn't realize. What the fuck? Oh my god. Why is it? Because I saw there's this clip with Steiny getting absolutely demolished by Ilya Taporia. Got slept. Not slept, but he got slumped. And so that's funny, but I thought they just like maybe met him at a gym or something. It shows you how tight knit this circle is because Dana White is very close with Trump. Trump put money into the UFC very early on, so that's why like they're gonna do the UFC for America 250 and stuff. It's all just such. It's all Trump just trying to jerk himself off more and more every day. Sorry to be crass.
To be honest, they gave us a paper with questions to ask, but they also said they kind of, they gave us a script to ask, but we didn't really follow it. Yeah. We tried our very best to ask some questions, but I think
personally I like the questions you asked to him.
It was tough.
Really, Ilya? You liked when he asked him McDonald's or Burger King? Don't beat my ass. Don't beat my ass. Please don't beat my ass. But like, come on.
But with a guy like that,
I'll admit I liked the questions. I don't think they were good questions, but I did like the questions.
I just wasn't really educated on this subject,
Me neither. That's
I think there's a lot of people like that. Like if me and you were both like that, I think that because some people have a side like I'm on this side, some people have a side I'm on this side.
Like, I think we know many things from the social media, but we don't know the explanation behind that, like why they are doing this. Maybe there is a reason why they do it.
Someone will say something, or like you'll read a headline on one side and then you'll read a headline on the other side, and you just don't know what to believe, right?
Yeah.
It's tough.
Agreed.
But it's because people are dying. So I think, when we sit down with someone like that, we probably should have grilled them a little harder and been more ready, which I can admit to. But there's nothing you can't only move forward, right?
Hey, straight up. You're not wrong. You gotta just full send it, bro. You're so right. But yeah. So, but here's the thing. I think they're dumbasses. I think that this is so stupid, but I think that they're useful idiots at the most. And, saying that they should be they should be treated as Nazi officers on the Nuremberg trials is fucking insane, especially considering that only the 21 out of the 24, so not even all of the German officers were were found guilty. Or never mind, 21 stood trial. How many were found guilty? All of them? Probably. Because I forgot. Maybe some got away or died. Fair enough. Fair enough. My bad. Misremembered what I read. But regardless, it's not like every Nazi soldier was tried and put to death. It's not like every that we saw on the last reaction to BadEmpanada's video. He referenced a secretary that was tried as a Nazi and was found guilty and was literally giving a 2-year suspended sentence. But she was found guilty because when going to where her office was located, where her walk from her her housing to her position, they were able to analyze that she definitely had a clear understanding of what was going on in the concentration camp. So again, it's like it's all about the context, and when you just fucking blanket everything together and be like, there you go, not only are you going to make things more divisive, you're going to be completely ineffective in your cause, because it's like it's going to sow division within itself because of how just dumb it is. They're just doing some light propaganda, that's all. Hassan is profiting off genocide more than just about anyone else. Yeah, I mean, he is the biggest political streamer, and well, I guess Asmongold maybe is now. Weird to think about. Hey, the way the world ebbs and flows. Am I right? Next thing you know, it'll be XQC. But here's something else that was funny. Likening Ethan to AOC is kind of based, and if for anyone who hasn't seen, where is it? Oh, did I not pull it up? Good job, me. There we go. Doomed movement. Well done, everyone. AOC's office vandalized by pro-Palestine protesters. Group takes responsibility for smearing paint, saying it denounces the hypocrisy of politicians who voted against U.S. funding cuts for Israel. And then I had seen a post from her that said that she did vote against the bill. So, I think it was this. Yeah, it was this post. Let me continue. Likening Ethan to AOC is kind of based, to be honest. And AOC said, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez said, my record on Palestine speaks for itself. I'm proud of it. One of the strongest in Congress. I throw down for pro-Palestine candidates. Largely unrecognized work. That's fine. Disagreements are fine too. But if you want to toss all that for one half-assed MTG stunt, be my guest. I know where I stand. Oh, never mind. It wasn't this one. She had said that she did vote against the bill that they were saying she was for or something. It was something along those lines. I thought it was this post. But yeah, it's just stupid because people are saying this statement is unironically very Ethan Klein coded, and it's like, first of all, you guys need to get some. This isn't even me trying to make fun of people. If you are genuinely seeing Ethan Klein in every statement and all the things that you're doing, and Hassan, anybody, I don't care what person it is. If you are so obsessed with them mentally that you are this is Ethan Klein coded, you need to get a little bit of help. You need to go talk to somebody in your family, go talk to a professional. And I do not mean this with any I'm not even saying this to be funny or I'm literally just being genuine that is kind of an odd way to think. And yeah, even so, this is so weird because what does this even mean? Yes, this is Ethan Klein coded. She's defending herself. What you would have to do is then show examples of her being a hypocrite to be like, oh, this is hypocrisy. Because I think that's what they're trying to say is like, oh, they're lying. This is how Ethan lies. But I guess that's me reading into it. I don't know what they mean, because this is just kind of a vague post. If that's you, log off. Real. But here we go. We're moving on. This was just an interesting post that I saw. Shout out Prof. Piukumuku. Said it so good. I don't post much, but after watching the H3 Content Cop, I feel like I need to speak up. I'm a veteran, and I consider myself someone who stays pretty well informed. So it was honestly tough to realize just how easily I got swept up in everything, or swept up in something so manipulative. After watching Ian's videos, I wasn't just siding with him, I felt disgusted with Ethan. I believed what was being shown and thought I was seeing the full picture, and in doing that, I didn't just side with Ian, I aligned myself, even briefly, with the same harmful circle I now see as part of the problem. What really hit me was when a friend, someone who's followed Leftovers for a long time, showed me a few videos that actually presented full context without editing things to push an agenda. That's when it clicked. How easy it is to have your perception hijacked when you're only shown what someone wants you to see. It was a hard pill to swallow. I didn't just challenge my stance, it challenged how I evaluate truth, and that doesn't feel good. When it comes to Hassan, this whole experience has only reinforced how damaging his rhetoric can be. The way he talks about real suffering, real violence, it's not just insensitive, it's dangerous. I serve to protect freedom of speech, but it's painful to see that freedom used to build a platform of outrage, mockery, and selective truth. I don't regret my service, but I do feel something close to shame when I see how it enables people like him to say and do so much harm without consequence. Just wanted to share this for anyone else who might be going through a similar shift. It's not weakness to change your mind, it's growth. And I really like that last part. So true, Professor, or Prof. Piukumuku. Prof. Piukumuku. Nailed it. But then people are talking about Ethan's Instagram stories, and so I wanted to kind of pull up the full content because they didn't show the one that came before this, so I wanted to show both. Oh wait, did I? Oh yeah, it was.
Threats to Israel's existence.
Or wait, did I not pull it up?
There are two.
Who gives a
Oh my god.
Who gives a
Enjoy
fuck
this
what
while I
people
pull it
think
up.
about me? Fuck! I like to express myself. Yeah, I like to express myself, asshole. I don't give a fuck what people think about me, asshole, cause I like to express myself. Fuck!
I mean,
Sorry, I was gonna show this story too, but I'm trying to get the first one. But regardless, whatever. I'll just read this one because it kind of speaks for itself, and the comments is what I wanted to talk about, so whatever. I didn't know. So someone said, I know Ethan rightfully despises Hassan, but if he knew that TYT, the Young Turks, were named after something so awful, the people that enacted the Armenian genocide. I didn't know that either. I had heard the name before, but I didn't know how where it had derived from. Like, I knew that it was a reference to something historical, but I did not know that that was what it was a reference to, and that is kind of crazy. We're named after something so awful. Why go on to do a show with him? If he didn't know that, that's one thing. But if he did, that alone should have been enough to walk away, especially because Hassan is known to have come from TYT. And Ethan said, I didn't know, but I should have known. Lots of people were hoodwinked, including myself. Not an excuse, though, when you get into business with someone. I will make it right. And that's what he's trying to do. Yeah, pop off, Gabe. He just likes to express himself. Losers interviewed Rich Lux. I wish I was an unemployed like these leftover losers. I could interview. Wait, really? They interviewed Rich Lux? Where is it? Why would you do that, Rich? Come on. Don't feed into it. Oh no. Do you think they asked him if Ethan was homophobic? But the thing I want to point out in this too is that it's funny that when someone brings up that Hassan was a part of something that seems a bit extremist again, their goal is to just divert the point and to say, well, if Ethan knew, why do you even do anything with him to begin with? It's like, so is it okay, or do you disagree with it and you're like, fuck Ethan too? Or is it just fuck Ethan? It just seems a little odd. But someone underneath said this, Turkish girl here, I've been trying to warn them about Hassan forever, including in this subreddit. But nobody listened. Him and his uncle are far-right ultra-Turkish nationalists who deny the Armenian genocide and the genocide against Kurdish people by the Turkish government. It was obvious from the start that he was an anti-Semitic Islamist. And I thought that was interesting because I have heard it's like a joke Lonerbox does to say Hassan's Ottoman posting. And I do think it's funny because before World War I, after the dissolvement of the Ottoman Empire, before the dissolvement of the Ottoman Empire, they had claim over the Palestinian land, and it's like, is he trying to expand the Ottoman Empire again? Interesting stuff if you think about it. Yeah, but still crazy stuff. Oh, and here was an explanation from an Armenian. Slow down, Quasar. Sound it out, word by word. Armenian. Oh my God. Armenians POV on Ethan's post about TYT. It makes my skin crawl to hear or see Hassan. He sickens me. In Turkey, they are taught there is no such thing as the Armenian genocide, to deny and deny. I once had a Turkish classmate in university ask me for help during a physics lab. And I want to say I don't think all Turkish, like any group, are monolithic. So I'm sure there are Turkish people that, do accept the historical fact of the Armenian genocide. But again, we continue. Later, he asked where I was from. I told him I'm Armenian. He laughed and said, I bet they don't have the best opinion about us over there, LOL. I replied, can you blame them? And he just laughed again and said, well, they do not believe in the genocide, or they deflect, or they make jokes. Whenever I tell someone I'm Armenian, I'm met with confusion. What's that? No one knows and no one cares. Back in middle school, in the US, I got on a bus one day and there were no seats left except next to a Turkish boy. I asked him if I could sit down. He said no. I tried sitting on the edge because the bus had started moving and he pushed me off. This wasn't someone raised abroad. He was born and raised in America. Majority of Turks, large majority, are taught to hate Armenians. This is interesting. So he's adding links and stuff. I didn't actually read this through. Foreign policy. What is this? Turkey will never recognize the Armenian genocide. What was the first link? I didn't see it. Oh, I completely missed these links. Where's the first link? Oh, is this just explaining? Turkey, Erdogan uses leftovers of the sword, anti-Christian hate speech. Turkish president recap. Yeah, because the Turks were targeting Christians, the Armenians, Greeks, and Assyrians. So yeah, this is just an explanation of it a little bit more. You know, we can all do our own history research, do a deep dive, figure it out, learn about history. But this is interesting. Turkey will never recognize the Armenian genocide. I don't know what this is, foreignpolicy.com. It's time for Yerevan to shift gears and work toward rapprochement with Ankara. So, again, if you want to look into these, I'm going to kind of just take all of these with a grain of salt, obviously, because we're not going too hard on the fact checks here. But I wouldn't say that this is, again, they're not monolithic, but if you're claiming something that is common in, at least in Turkey, then that's one statement. But abroad, I don't know so much. Anyone playing Donkey Kong Bonanza? Is this Ethan coded? In 2020, the second Nagorno-Karabakh. In 2020, the second Nagorno-Karabakh. I think I got that all right. War broke out. No one paid attention. No one cared. During that time, Turkey's president openly flashed the gray wolf symbol, a group associated with ultranationalism and violence, essentially a blatant call for genocide. If you ask a Turk to take a DNA test, rarely will you find anything labeled Turkish. It'll be Greek, Armenian, Kurdish, Assyrian, all the people that were genocided, assimilated, erased. That's the foundation of what is now Turkey. So yes, it upsets me deeply when Ethan started a podcast with Hassan, not just because as an Armenian I can't stand him, but also because, come on, the guy just word vomits big words he learned in school to pretend he's smart and intimidate people. Most Turks deny the Armenian genocide, or they create wild conspiracy theories to justify it. That's what they are taught. That's what they believe. I would implore this person to. I really just read the headline in the beginning of this, and I didn't read too far in. And I would implore this person to try and confront their own biases. And obviously, you might see it more often than not. Who knows? But remember that people are not monolithic, and you shouldn't treat them as such. You should, beat people by being better. That's the way you should try and live. And it's hard. It's hard. But, I was gonna try and make an analogy, but it didn't work in my head, so we're gonna move on. No one knows, no one cares, and no one ever will. Side note: as we all know, Hassan, I will say that if their president flashed a gray wolf symbol and that is like an ultra nationalist symbol, then that is a little blatant, and you would hope Hassan would call that out if it is in his home country. If there's people that, because literally the whole thing that he is against Israel for is their their ultranationalism. Like, that would be the argument against Israel. So that would be the only like actual claim to like any like opposition to Israel would start with their ultranationalist views. But side note, as we all know, Hassan brings tokenized guests onto his stream to bring up his viewpoints. He learned from the best, TYT, who once paraded their Armenian co-host, Anna Kasparian, as a way to signal that everything is fine between Turks and Armenians. As an Armenian, I can say we do not claim Anna Kasparian. She is crazy and frankly a traitor for aligning herself with TYT in the first place. I will say, the fact that it's called the Young Turks does give it a whole other level of it not just being some Turkish people doing some stuff. It's a little dicey. My fave pre-H3H3 show. Oh, thank you so much. I really do appreciate everybody that's come in. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But yeah, I do think that adds an extra level to it. And yeah, again, this guy is definitely a little bitter, but like he said above, can you blame them? Side note, and again, this person's viewpoint would be essentially the like aggressive Palestinian sentiment, like, or the not, well, yeah, because I'll say the non-Hamas, more aggressive Palestinian sentiment, non-terroristic, but someone who just has an opposition to Israel and probably hates Israelis for something that is at least historically valid in some regard. But to think that any individual deserves like death wholly because of the group that they are a part of is depends on which group it is, but it could be xenophobic or racist or anti-Semitic or just Islamophobic or whatever. It's bigoted, and that's what matters. Because bigoted stuff is bad. I know Ethan rightfully despises Hassan, but if he knew that TYT were so this is where this person got this from, or this is where Ethan got it from. This is where Ethan got it from. Was this post? Why go on to do a show with him? If he didn't know, that's one thing. But if he did, that alone should have been enough to walk away, especially because Hassan is known to have come from TYT. To be fair, I think if Ethan would have known about this, he probably would have brought it up in all of the Israel-Palestine debates, in all of the conversations. So, yeah. It's just important to call this kind of thing out consistently, not only when we already dislike someone. If it matters now, it should have mattered then. And while I understand that Ethan might not have known at the time, as he said himself, he should have done more research, especially on a Turkish guy from Turkey. Look at link 2 below, who worked for TYT. We should be consistent about it, regardless of who it is or how we feel about them in the moment. I hope that makes sense. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Peace and love, peace and love. I guess, what if some German group made a podcast called like the Nationalist Socialist Party or something? Like, you know what I mean? The National Socialist Party? What was the Nazi party called? I always forget. Well, you get what I'm saying. It'd be like, would that joke be okay in any way? I don't think so. And then based Hamza. We've talked about Hamza Howady before. Gazan, who is obviously pro-Palestinian and wants the independence of the Palestinian people, but is also very much anti-Hamas and looking to get the upheaval of Hamas from the Palestinian people. But he said, while Palestinians in Gaza protested Hamas, pro-Palestinians protested bullshit. In May 2025, Palestinians in Gaza took to the streets. They weren't just protesting the war, they were protesting Hamas. In Khan Yunis, Beit Hanan, and Deir el-Balal, Gazans risked their lives to demand Hamas out, Hamas stop your terrorism, Hamas surrender, stop the war, release the hostages. They were crystal clear about what they wanted. But outside Gaza, the pro-Palestine movement said nothing. Not in the West, not in the Arab world. They barely took notice. While Gazans called for Hamas to step aside, pro-Palestinian activists chanted, destroy the Zionist entity from the river to the sea, globalize the Intifada. The world wasn't, and I'd like to just point out, from the he included this one in. He included this one in when talking in destroy the Zionist entity and to globalize the Intifada. I just want to those are all equivocal in this Gazan's mind as being bad sentiments. The world wasn't listening to Gazans. It was too busy chanting its own slogans, following its own narratives. It doesn't care at all about what actual Palestinians want. If you truly stand with Palestinians, start by standing with Palestinians in Gaza. Amplify what they are actually asking for. Stop pushing resistance fantasies. Start with listening to Gazans. Help the people in Gaza on their terms, not yours. Beautiful stuff, honestly. And we're going to look at this right now that was in Ethan's story as well. We should first look at what... Oh, I guess there's one more little...
I have something here that was sent to me from an excerpt from the interview that you guys conducted.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That was probably so loud. I'm so sorry. I forgot to turn it down from that one Nelk video. Oh my god. My bad, everybody.
Where you asked him if he prefers...
That's still crazy. What is up?
You know, Burger King or McDonald's or whatever.
So weird that my thing isn't working right now. My audio booster.
Is there a KFC there? They're everywhere. I don't think there's a KFC in Yemen, dog.
He says they have two.
Oh, they do have KFC in Yemen? That's crazy. Okay, that's sick.
Is there a KFC in Yemen? No way, dude! Holy fuck! There's a KFC in Yemen!
But more importantly, Hassan also said this.
There are two grave threats to Israel's existence, right? And it's not fucking Iran or Hezbollah or Hamas or anything like that, okay? The greatest threat to Israel's existence is Israelis themselves being like, yeah, fuck this shit. I don't feel safe here at all. I'm leaving. I'm going back to Brooklyn. I'm leaving. I'm going to France. I'm leaving. I'm going to fucking the UK. When more and more liberal Israelis, who are themselves most likely bloodthirsty as well, okay, in terms of like how Israel has dealt with Gaza or whatever, but they don't like the negative consequences of Israel doing that, which is like the Iron Dome and its security perishing. You are left with a country that is packed to the fucking gills with the most inbred, uneducated, ultra-nationalist, rabid, Haredi population, and like, who cares? There are two great...
Sorry. The interesting part about this clip... Oh my god. As inbred, uneducated, and rabid. He's talking about the native Arab Jewish population, which makes up 60% of Jewish Israel, of Jewish Israelis. In other words, oh, we disconnected. We back? We back? Are we back? Did it just fully cut out for a second? Crazy stuff. But let me just start back a couple sentences to make sure it all got heard. He's talking about the native Arab Jewish population, which makes up 60% of Jewish Israelis. In other words, he's describing the white Jews as more civilized and cultured, and when the white people leave Israel, the uncivilized and barbaric brown Jews will remain. He's expressing white supremacy and anti-Arab racism. Hassan is neither brown nor Arab. An interesting glimpse into his ultra-nationalist Turkish supremacist beliefs. Is pretty interesting. Especially because here's a post that Ethan posted and said, a glimpse into the bloodthirsty Israelis that Sam Cedar and Hassan Piker want to fucking die. And yeah, this is a post. We are marching here and crying with 1,000 others. We hold photos here. I'm going to read it. We hold photos of starved Gaza children. They starved to death. They died as Israel blocks food to Gaza. We're here to demand the stop of starvation. There's 2 million people starving. It isn't humane. Bombing people with nothing left is inhumane. Israel won't end this war of annihilation. It won't bring back the hostages. It won't bring security. It only brings more death. Hunger, annihilation. It's time to stop. It's time to refuse. It's time to say no. No to Gaza. No evasion, atrocities, war crimes. Our government sends soldiers to kill and starve. It's time to open our eyes, even if the media hides it's happening. This is reality. We can see it. We must look. It is time. It is time to refuse. So yeah, it's just like Hassan is Middle Western, as Papa Gut would say. Yeah, it's very true. He's not even that. Bro's just straight up European. Look at him. Look at this guy. Not this guy. But yeah, it's very, very sad, and it just shows that on both sides, like, the whole thing that's so fucking terrible, right, is that everybody wants to be like, oh, it's the people, it's the Israelis, and you're saying it's the Palestinians, even though everybody is saying we are against Hamas. We want Hamas to be taken out of power, and in the same way, we want the Israeli government to stop what they're doing. But they just think that it's like it's a one or the other. It has to be like basically destroyed and completely dispersed from the land, either annihilated or dispersed of one of the groups. Is absolutely insane. Doesn't make any fucking sense. How we doing? I don't know. I don't know anymore. No, I'm just kidding. We're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good. But yes, I think that was it. Yeah, that was it from all those. I wanted to give a little shout out to Alex the Fiction. Obviously, what's my shout out gonna do? But he just did his 4,000 subscriber Mayo special. Go check it out if you haven't already. It was a lot of fun. It ended up pretty good. He basically went through comments, and as he was responding, was squirting some mayo on his head. Great stuff. So yes, shout out Alex the Fiction. Shout out the girl with a microphone. We'll do a few more shout outs. H3 last week. Oh, why didn't H3 last week? Shout out H3 last week. newest video came out 8 days ago. Ooh, it better be coming. Come on, Madman.
Supporting her enemy that she has chosen, by the way, Ethan.
But great stuff, as always. Yes, this was 2 days ago. Had a technical problem this week, so there may not be an episode until tomorrow. I'm working through it. Thank you for your patience. That was 2 days ago. We're waiting, but it's coming. So that's what's up. But yes, H3 last week, great stuff, and Haley's comment getting going up. That shout out really does you well. But shout out. But yes, oh, and then this was funny. This was just a Shoe Nice 22 post on YouTube for some reason. I don't know what he's talking about. I have no clue what this is about. I have no idea. Do not ask. Look into it yourself. It's just fucking hilarious. I saw this right before I went live, so I was like, I have to add this in. Make a video apologizing for Here, I'll try and do it in Shoe Nice's voice. Make a video apologizing for 14 years of being a loser, and I won't dox you every day, Mr. Mental Sad Man. I got all kinds of friends in your neighborhood. I can't do it. He doesn't do that much inflection. Fuck. I fucked it up so bad. I was just thinking of the either way. So I was trying to go off that. I got all kinds of friends in your neighborhood that hate you as much as I do. But I'm a nice guy. Just man the fuck up and stop being my fucking puppet, bitch, dude. You too, Wheezy, on the crack cocaine diet. Is he talking about Lil Wayne here? That's the part I was wondering about. Is he actually talking about Lil Wayne? Because that would be interesting. Lil Wayne just put the belt on the BMF champion for the UFC. The baddest motherfucker is the title, I think. But is he also beefing with Shoe Nice at the same time? Yeah, Shoe Nice been drinking again. When did he stop? And this was funny. This was a recommendation that I got. I wanted to show the intro first. This is just a little short thing. We're going to watch the end, the last like 16 minutes. And then we'll watch, let's see, has this gone live yet? When's it starting? 12:30. That's what I thought, so we'll have time. But we're going to watch this. This intro is so funny, but it's just someone else's, like almost an outside perspective on the snark as a whole. And I just think this intro is really funny, so we have to talk about it. You know, YouTube intros is kind of a dying art. People don't do them as much anymore. You need those like crazy. I think this has to be like a minute long. Okay, it's 30 seconds. Even so, it feels longer. So let's watch. What are those? Are they supposed to be Shrek ears? What is I have to admit, I didn't watch the intro all the way through. The song's not that bad, I have to admit. What are those supposed to be? She like pushed them back into her head. Interesting. So we're gonna skip ahead. Here we go. Sorry, I'm trying to get it like just right.
Into the final story. So from one person who completely shocked the world with an out of the blue album, we have another person who completely shocked the world with 3 out of the blue lawsuits. Let's get into Ethan Klein. Okay, so we should know this by now. Ethan Klein is now doing lawsuits. Ethan Klein is handing out lawsuits faster than my doctor will hand out depression prescription medication. So just to give you a brief TLDR of how this whole situation came around, Ian aka iDubbbz, he did a content cop on Ethan Klein. Ethan Klein was not expecting this to be the case. I was completely flabbergasted to find out that his ex-dear friend would do him
Think that was some AI slop? Yeah, probably.
so bad. So Ethan Klein decided to do a content nuke, which is his version of the aforementioned content cop, on his dear friend iDubbbz, and decided to copyright the video before
Did she just get this fully wrong?
a context dear friend would. I was completely flabbergasted to find out that his ex-dear friend would do him so bad. So Ethan Klein decided to do a content nuke, which is his version of
It's not what happened. I think she's got this backwards.
the aforementioned content cop, on his dear friend iDubbbz, and decided to copyright the video before it went live, as in an official copyright. Obviously, when you release original material, you have the IP and you are the copyright owner. However, if you would like to litigate somebody, you do have to register that copyright, or it's better, shall I say, you don't have to, but it's better for your case if you have the copyright registered. What ended up happening was on the H3 Snark, I don't know, is it even the H3 Snark anymore? I don't even know what it's called. Is it like H3, is it like leftovers? I don't know, something like.
I have to say, I don't like when people do this shit when they're like, what is it? What's it called? You looked it up. It's like, don't lie to me. She got this info from ChatGPT. No, literally. It does feel like she just kind of... Because that's just like the complete... Like, half of it was right. The copywriting it part, to be able to... Like, that part was correct. But to say it was about iDubbbz means that you did... I don't know where the research was in this at all.
I'm not in that space anymore. I promise you, those people are crazy. We'll talk about it in a bit. But on the HD Stock or whatever, they were making lists. I remember this at the time of like all of the people who were going to be streaming Ethan Klein's content nuke when it went live. Basically,
she has to just be doing like a ChatGPT overview or something. Because like, how do you have this information but not know that the video was about Hassan?
in order to siphon views from the, original poster. And the three people it is that he decided to sue who restreamed his content.
Please say iDubbbz.
In its entirety with little to no commentary in order to siphon views away from his channel and away from his video was Denims, Frogan, and Casey Tron. Now, I'm going to give you what I think is my humble opinion, the truth. Casey Tron should not be there. And it's not because she didn't do exactly the same as everybody else, but I've been watching Casey Tron for years. When I first started Twitch and I was like, getting into doing Twitch in the 2020s, I was looking at other content creators who did commentary so that I could see what the space was like before I joined. And Casey Tron was one of the first female commentators that I followed on Twitch because I just wanted to know how, Twitch works, just getting to grips with it and all that kind of stuff and seeing how other people run their streams. And she's nothing more and nothing less than a stoner. I believe, and this is just my humble opinion, and people can say, oh, you're a hater, you're an Ethan Klein hater. Yeah. Yes, I am. Facts. Like, let's not have discussions about things we know, and the sky's blue. I think that Casey Tron was added in so that Ethan Klein would look like he was just suing two Arab ladies. Whilst, yes, Casey Tron definitely hit the criteria.
Oh my god. It's just so stupid. Like, you don't get to hide behind your identity. Like, come on. Come on. But also, you also don't get to hide behind being a dumb stoner. It isn't about, again, this isn't like a defamation case. This isn't like being stupid. This is blatantly and like just clear as day stealing copyrighted material. So.
She's nothing more and nothing less than a stoner. I genuinely don't believe that the girl means any malicious intent at all. I think she was just there for collateral damage. I think the whole idea is that Casey Tron will break first and she will issue a public apology, leaving the other women to the wolves. And I hope that is the case, quite frankly, because I'm not a big fan of Frogan and I'm definitely not a big fan of Denims either. I feel like what has happened is that if you are opposing Ethan Klein, you instantaneously, for some reason, have to enjoy the other side. Like, people absolutely lost their mind when I said that I don't like Hassan Piker because I find him rude. That's not a real reason. You can't dislike Hassan because if you know I can and did. Like, It's so fucking bizarre. And let me tell you, the reason that I start talking about Ethan Klein is not because I don't. Okay, I'm just gonna be real and just say what I fucking think, girl. Why do we give a fuck about what Ethan Klein thinks about Israel versus Palestine? Why do we give a fuck about what Ethan Klein thinks about Israel versus Palestine? Why do we give a fuck about what Ethan Klein thinks about Israel versus Palestine? This ain't no mover, no shaker, no person who can change the world. Bitch, it's Ethan Klein. He rambles and he rambles and just says absolutely nothing for hours on end on a podcast whilst making really inappropriate jokes. The guy who's made sexually inappropriate jokes towards various different minority categories. This is the guy who we're listening to on Israel.
Wait, what?
Absolutely nothing for hours on end on a podcast whilst making really inappropriate jokes. The guy who's made sexually inappropriate jokes towards various different minority categories. This is the guy who we're listening to.
Oh, okay. She's talking, okay, sorry. She meant minority as, I think she means the LGBTQ community as a minority group. I thought she was saying, like, people of color, and I was genuinely, like, so confused for a second. I was so confused. Because I think she's probably talking about Ethan asking, like, Adam McIntyre if he's a top or bottom, like that kind of thing. Is it too far? Maybe. But ask me that joke. It's funny. It's a funny joke nonetheless. Even if whether you're gay or not, asking somebody, you a top? It's pretty good. It's a good joke.
On Israel versus Palestine, whose views on Israel versus Palestine you believe to be so harmful. If you guys spent, and I'm talking to all you motherfuckers out there who literally have no fucking things to do in your life, if you guys spent as much time lobbying your fucking government as much as you spend lobbying Ethan Klein, I swear to God you would have a better time. What are you doing? What are you doing? He's so insignificant. It's such a stupid thing to do. And this has been something that's been long-standing and going on for years. BadEmpanada, fucking shut up. Why? Why Ethan Klein? Who gives a fuck?
She's really just, she hates everybody. You know what? I can respect it.
Who gives? If you can, do something elsewhere. Why am I gonna fucking spend my time focusing on one person's opinion? One person's opinion. We all know that the world overwhelmingly stands by Palestine. 80%.
Low key, she's kind of spitting right here though. Low key.
Of us. It's our government that's not listening. It's the UK government that's not listening. The US government that's not listening. The European Union that's not listening. But we care about Ethan Klein's fucking opinion. Who cares? Who cares that a person who was indoctrinated into a certain idealism is now thinking to themselves, this is the way that my worldview is, and I'm so confused when confronted by a society that doesn't believe the same as me. Yeah, that's what happens when you're involved in a fucking cult. It took me...
See, that's where ChatGPT started cooking. ChatGPT didn't know shit about the internet drama aspect, but as soon as it got into like the philosophy of just like internet culture and like parasocial relationships and stuff, it was like, oh yeah, now I can fucking do that all day.
Several years of not being a Jehovah's Witness for me to realize what it's like to not be a Jehovah's Witness. Sometimes being confronted with the real world will take some time to get used to. Ask any Amish person who had to leave the Amish community so that they could see the world for several years, and ask them what it felt like.
She's a former Jehovah's Witness. I don't know what that says about her as a person, but it is an interesting little tidbit.
Being confronted with a much more modern society. I bet it was fucking weird, bro. I bet it was fucking weird. So in my head, I'm just like, get over his opinion. Out of all of the people's opinions there is to, you know, dissect. Ethan Klein is not the person. He isn't even...
The only cult we're in is the cult of fat love, so true. Domine, fat love. Domine.
Even the smartest guy. Like, it wouldn't even be so bad if he was like some guy with like untapped, you know, wisdom. No, he isn't. He's not a guy with untapped wisdom. He's a guy with an extremely large ego that is extremely fragile. When I look at Ethan Klein, I don't look at a man who...
Neutral hater, bridge? You're so right. There's something there. We can talk to her. We can make this work.
Who exudes strength, who exudes power, who is able to, you know, make real significant change in this universe, who has the power to do change. I look at a guy with a fragile fucking ego. And what, we're supposed to just sit here and give a fuck about this guy's opinion? Fuck this guy. Fuck this guy. There are numerous different things that I think that Ethan Klein has done that is far worse than having a fucking dog-ass take about fucking Israel versus Palestine, quite frankly. There have been worse things that this dude has said, that this dude has done. So no.
That's gonna get you a lot more hate, I think, is saying something like that. You'd be like, actually, Israel-Palestine is the most important of these topics, so...
For me, for my personal humble opinion, the whole situation with Ethan Klein, how many people are so focused, laser focused on this one...
Yeah, she started cooking for like 20 seconds, but the bacon's still raw. But hey, fat love will still eat it. Domine, domine, fat love.
On fucking dude, and his opinion on fucking Palestine is absolutely insane to me. Insane. And the better energy could have been focused elsewhere. That's what I have to say about that. And if you say, oh, well, I can hate it, I can do other things at the same time, good. I hope so. I hope you are making more progress in the good old fucking fight that is going on right now in Palestine. A good old fucking fight that's going on in Congo. Good old fucking fight that's going on in Sudan. Good old fucking fight that's going on literally fucking anywhere else. Because right now, no progress is being made, but we're focused on Ethan fucking Klein. Give me a fucking break. Literally months ago, I made a video where I said that Ethan Klein was not a genocidal maniac, and I believe that he is pro-Palestine. And for some reason, you guys lost your ever-loving fucking mind. You guys lost your ever...
Wait.
Pro-Palestine. Literally months ago, I made a video where I said that Ethan Klein was not a genocidal maniac, and I believe that he is pro-Palestine. And for some...
See, this is... I can respect it. She was very dumb in the beginning, and I do believe this is just some fucking... It's one of those things where I don't think she actually has hardly any knowledge. I do think this is probably a ChatGPT script. But if she did a previous video, she has to, like, know about things at least tangentially. And... so that is interesting that she is making that claim too.
Reason you guys lost your ever-loving fucking mind. You guys lost your ever-loving fucking mind.
Is she in a disco ball or is her green screen still pixelated? I'm pretty sure this is a real room because if you look closely, some of them are like off center and like tilted. Like look at this one right here. This one's like overlapping these. These ones are all overlapping over here.
Because I did not.
But no, yeah, I can respect somebody who's just like, hey, I don't like him. I don't like him as a person. Fair enough. You know, I think we can have disagreements on that point, but as soon as you take it so far to say that they are a genocidal freak who's a fucking, like, all this stuff, that is when you've lost the plot. And as long as we can agree on that, hey, let's go, sister. Do what you gotta do. It's the truth.
Echo the same sentiment as the rest of you guys, and you guys got so fucking wildly violent and racist in the comment section towards me, racist towards me, purely because I did not hold the same sentiment as you. Grow the fuck up, you fuck.
Wait, really? And then people were fucking racist towards her because of it? Bro. The left, right? Like, I don't think people realize, like, you are, like, it's such like a high level of cognitive dissonance. We're supposed to be like the compassionate ones, I thought. I thought like, you know, progressive values were about, you know, like compassion and things like that. But I guess it's not necessarily progressive. It's only to the left. And it's regressive, honestly. They're just leftists. They're just fucking... That's why politics is so stupid. Politics is actually so dumb if you break it down. Because there should be liberal conservatives, but we've pigeonholed ourselves. There should, or not liberal conservatives, liberal Republicans. Good job. That was an oxymoron, my bad. There should be liberal Republicans and conservative Democrats, but it seems like those things are becoming, you know, more few and far between. And we need more centrist views, honestly. People are just becoming more and more extreme, and it's crazy.
Fucking insufferable. The whole lot of you. Grow the fuck up. That was the moment that I realized, y'all motherfuckers...
She says towards me like it's like she's implying racism is only bad because it was towards her. I didn't even notice that.
Rest of you guys, and you guys got so fucking wildly violent and racist in the comment section towards me, racist...
Towards me,
towards me, purely because I did not hold the same sentiment as you. Grow the fuck up, you fucking insufferable. The whole lot of you. Grow the fuck up. Now,
I heard that Sam Hyde was on Harlan Williams, and I was thinking of checking it out because Harlan Williams is a good comedian. I think I looked at the actual like video, but I didn't watch it. And I looked at the comment section, and someone said Sam Hyde finally met a real comedian, and that got me. And I was like, I think I need to check this out later. But yeah, I'm gonna probably watch that off stream. Sam Hyde's been exposing himself more and more, and I've been trying to like key in on it because so many people just say, oh, he's just joking, oh, it's just this. And I think we need to call out, like, just in general people more on their crazy views.
That was the moment that I realized, y'all motherfucking snarkers, y'all are tapped in the brain. Literally every single one of you are tapped in the brain. Literally in that video, the whole video was talking about fucking Trisha Paytas. But you guys were so fucking crazy and lasered into this one thing. It reminds me very much of the time when Black Lives Matter was so fucking prevalent and everyone was like, you know, you don't support black businesses, you don't support, screaming into the abyss at the wrong fucking thing, condemning the wrong people. And it's this, I'm watching history repeat itself once again, where people are screaming performative justice for something that they are not actually actively present in. It is just the condemnation of another person for their thoughts, when this person doesn't have the ability to positively change or negatively change the thoughts and opinions of literally fucking anyone. This guy has no ability to do anything. Do I think he's leaning into a lot of things? Do I think he's intentionally winding people up? Do I think that he genuinely believes that he's right? Yes. Does it make a difference in the grand scheme of the universe? Absolutely not. You guys need to get over it. And now all of you motherfuckers have just literally dragged yourself into a situation where now you are at legal liability to Ethan Klein of all people. And then all of this shenanigans about leveraging these lawsuits against these people in order to get other people to admit stuff. Like, he's upset with two fucking journalists, Kat Tambaj and Taylor Lorenz. Why is he upset with them? Girl, bitch, who knows? Girl, who knows? Ethan Klein don't like nobody, period, point blank, period. Who knows why he's upset with them, girl? I think it's something to do with like articles being made about Ethan Klein being a misogynist, which I feel like there's a lot of examples to show Ethan Klein being a misogynist. I don't think that that's a wild take at all. But instead of saying I'm not that person now, I've changed a lot and I'm, committed to change, the guy wants to attack other people. Because why? Because Ethan Klein fucking hates everyone, just in general. That guy is so grumpy. Who is watching the podcast at this point? Who is the audience? Who is Ethan Klein's audience? I need to know who Ethan Klein's audience is, because who's watching it now? It is literally just him, hours and hours on end, screaming about being the victim of something. The perpetual...
Actually, on the last episode, we, what was it? Pull it up. I'll tell you exactly what it was. Oop, god damn it.
Very strategic infrastructure.
We, we did the Gansfeld reveal. We did the Gansfeld experiment with the crew members. Look at this picture. It was this one, if you didn't know. Had a little goof and gaff on this guy. Some advice for Ian and Anissa. Some bear footage, just some wildlife photography footage. We were talking about Hunter Biden's interview. The Nelk boys on having Bibi Netanyahu on. And we at the very end, we got another new Hassan take in the last 14 minutes. It ain't that bad.
Victim of everything. We should glaze over the things that happened several years ago that he has never reckoned for, that he has never said anything about, that he has never apologized for, that he has never atoned for. But we should look at him as a victim right now. Fuck your victimhood, bitch. Fuck it. Fuck your victimhood. I don't give a fuck. The whole thing is becoming annoying. The whole thing is becoming extremely tiresome. But he's upset with two women who made articles I don't give a fuck. The two women who are fucking journalists or whatever. And he's upset with them. So he threatened to sue somebody else called Sean the Black, who is also another streamer who was in the aforementioned list that was posted on the Star Credit, as a way to not prove himself to become a misogynist. He included a male in the lawsuit to not make everybody believe that he was a misogynist. Now, he later says that this is a troll, but does this not make you think, at least? You know my earlier point about Casey Tron being added in because he didn't want to look like he was attacking two Arab women? Does that not make a little bit more sense now?
No. If anything, it pulls away from that because it was a joke. And if that was his true sentiment initially, he wouldn't joke about it because it would draw attention to that conclusion.
Because Casey Tron to me was just like the wildest one, because I was like, Casey Tron? Girl, she don't do nothing but smoke weed. And he literally documented how many times a bitch smoked weed. She don't do nothing but smoke weed. Like, literally, she does nothing but smoke weed. That is the ethos of the whole...
That was the problem. Yeah.
Fucking thing. It is 420 all day, every day. No time off, no breaks. Club, another club. Like, it is... That's all she does. So in my head, I'm like, really, you're concerned about the girl who literally smokes weed? I don't think anyone was going to Casey Tron to watch her video on you like that. For real. Because if you really wanted content, like, you're not going to Casey Tron. The girl is barely alive when she's streaming in general. Why? Because she's stoned. She's stoned and she is on Space Mountain right now. What are you fucking talking about? But anywho, he decided that Sean Black was involved. He now says that it was a trial, blah, 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 blah. But he was also using that and leveraging that in order to get journalists to apologize for him, calling him a misogynist. And we don't think that this man is just like geeked up on power. Crazy business. So here's what I think about the Ethan Klein suing Denims and all of these crimes.
Sorry, I kind of zoned out at the end there. It's not even the speed. It's genuinely, she's kind of just yapping. And I don't mean that to say that to be misogynistic, but get to the point.
are you fucking talking about? But anywho, he decided that Sean Black was involved. He now says that it was a trial, blah, 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 blah. But he was also using that and leveraging that in order to get journalists to apologize for him, calling him a misogynist. And we don't think.
Well, I mean, that part was a joke, too. It would have been funny if they did. But that part was also part of the joke. So, ooh.
That this man is just like geeked up on power, crazy business. So here's what I think about the Ethan Klein suing Denims and all of these crazy bitches situation. Denims, you're a stupid bitch. I don't know why you fucking did it. Frogan, you're a stupid bitch. I don't know why you fucking did it. Hassan, you are still an insufferable cunt, and I bet you ain't doing shit behind the scenes. I believe Ethan 100% when he says that. Everybody else who is involved in the stock Reddit, everybody else who is involved in that side who has not had the opportunity, because I ain't even gonna sit there and trip like I was like, you know, little miss, I've never been on the stock. No, girl, I went on the stock. In fact, I derived a lot of information from that bitch, because if there's one thing that the stock can do, it is collect motherfucking information. But what I will say is that I knew the tide was turning when the tide was turning, and I jumped out. And I'm glad I jumped out at the time that I jumped out, because when I jumped out was just before things got motherfucking crazy. Trust your intuition, bitches.
If you were posting on the Snark, if you were just sourcing things, you don't have an issue. But if you were posting there, those things would still come out in the subpoena, because it would be probably, at least for a time, unless this was like, you know, years and years ago, it would probably be for a time stored on their servers. It's just like the way it works. At least sometimes, not always. But they are like a, you know, $1 billion company. How big is Reddit?
Trust your intuition. And the same way I felt when I made that video about fucking Trisha Paytas that everybody wants to fucking talk about is the same way that I think now. Now
yeah,
they want to
$26 billion. That's kind of surprising, but also not.
Call me a fucking centrist. Now they want to call me an Ethan Klein apologist. Me? With the amount of videos I've made on Ethan Klein, you want to call me an apologist? Girl, if there was...
I don't understand how someone calling someone a centrist would ever be a like insult, because legitimately you want centrists to help bridge the divide, to find out where like a middle ground can come, because obviously they'll have opinions that'll sway them in one direction or the other, but what you do is try and find as few concessions as you have to make as possible, and that works better with a mediator.
Was a reason for me to drag Ethan Klein on any given day ending in a goddamn why, I am dragging him. But if I don't think it's warranted, I'm just not doing it. And I'm also not going to bend at the will of people on the internet who feel like they can fucking control me. But what I will not stand up for, and the only reason that video is down, by the way, because I don't give a motherfucking shit about what y'all motherfuckers think, the only reason that video is down is because of how fucking racist you got. It got so goddamn bad. Like, and my researchers, all those people who were in moderating that evening, they'll tell you. I didn't even need to tell you myself. I'm sure they'll make themselves known in the comment. It got so fucking bad that my staff were turning around and saying to me, Paige, can we go to bed, please? Because moderating this is so difficult, because it was constant. It was constant. It was insanity. And the way you guys immediately went to racism tells me all I fucking needed to know about you. Because guess what? Black tokens, bitches, they get spent. And I am not about to be the snarks token. And with that being said, that is the end of today's video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. I've actually enjoyed just like having a bit of a rant. I don't know. Tell me if you guys have enjoyed this little...
Low-key. Like I said, it seems uninformed on a lot of it, but I do think that at least the sentiment on just like, obviously she cares a little more than she's putting on, but the idea of not caring about the things that are like, you know, that are not really in your sphere is important. Make sure to kind of keep a level of separation from things that don't directly affect you or impact you. Anything yet? Nothing yet. So we do have another, my God. We have like, what is this, 20... How much can I speed this up? Should I do 2 times? 40 minutes? Right? 45 minutes? Yeah? Yeah, 45 minutes. Oh, actually, I did have one other thing I wanted to talk about real quick. Then we'll finish this off, because genuinely, it's just so brain-numbing. At least we're getting into the actual, like, very stupid stuff that shouldn't be too hard to kind of like point out as ridiculous, because it goes CPS, why it's called content poop, the skull hoax debunked, Ethan's lies are just projection, possibly fueled by hard drugs, engaging with Ethan is worthless except to mock him. So that's what we have left. Should be pretty easy. But before we get to that, I did want to point out Tim Dillon just had Alex Jones on his podcast to talk about the Epstein cover-up. And basically, Tim's just been kind of fucking helping out the Epstein case. He's been like, hey, everybody, hey, you know what? Maybe Trump was just doing, what the fuck did he say? He said it was like a embezzling or something. They were doing like, they were doing a money laundering. That's what he said. He said it was a money laundering operation. The child sex trafficking, that was only part of it. That wasn't the whole thing. It was a money laundering operation. No big deal. That's why Trump doesn't want to get it out. And I posed this question to somebody because I thought it was kind of interesting. Is it worse for Trump himself to be a pedophile? Obviously horrible. Or is it worse for Trump to not care about, all of the victims, all of the elites that are still out there doing this stuff, so much so that he's willing to cover it up only to cover his ass for money laundering? I don't know which is worse, because obviously doing the acts himself holds like it holds like a more immediate impact, but his allowment of it to continue purely for what is speculated to be wire fraud, it's like, I don't know, it's pretty bad too. And if you don't want to watch the full Tim Dillon show, I would recommend going and checking out the Too Lazy to Try video. He's been recommended by Ethan before. Good video. I guess I watched this on my other account. But yeah, good stuff. He breaks it down. Also, Tim Dillon just recently had a dinner date with JD Vance. And they basically asked him, like, what do you want to stop talking about this? What do you need? And Alex Jones admitted to the same thing. Well, actually, I think I got that backwards. I think Alex Jones admitted to that happening, that they called him up and were like, what can we do to make you stop talking about this? And then Tim Dillon said that he had a dinner date with JD Vance. At least he's getting out there. Got to be happy about that. Got to put yourself out there sometimes. Alex Jones looks so different now. I guess all that brain force must have aged him like an extra 20 years. He genuinely, it's all the alpha brain and TRT and HGH. He's got the human growth hormone, the testosterone replacement therapy. He's got it all. I guess he doesn't need TRT, he just needs T. But whatever. Yeah, I would recommend, but I don't want to get too into it because we do have this to get to still. If I have time at the end, I doubt it, but if I have time at the end, we'll watch it. So, CPS.
There are, after all, a lot of people who could have done this. For example, Ethan Klein is presently being sued by his former housekeeper for a plethora of labor rights violations, such as firing her because she wanted to take a break for an illness. If there was someone who called...
Again, I should have pulled it up. Oh, I didn't think about this. Oh, I don't think we have it, actually. Ethan posted on his Instagram story. Because Ethan posted the letter that he had gotten, or like the document basically stating that it was proven that the call was made without evidence. I can't find it right now. Damn.
Called CPS on them, who knows the family. Why would you suspect someone on the internet who doesn't actually know the family, rather than someone like her who would have intimate knowledge of the family?
Because the implication was that their home was in disarray, and that is just like, it was clearly false even to the CPS workers. So even if it was one of their previous workers, not only would that be probably easier to figure out for the police and whoever made the false CPS call, but also I don't know, I just feel like that's a stupid she's the one who called a fake call. That's why.
and who CPS would certainly take seriously if she were to call them. You know, they wouldn't take some random anonymous person throwing out baseless allegations serious enough to come to your house and check on things. And the notion that they would is just total bullshit. You have to be like lobotomized to believe Ethan's narrative here. All that said, Ethan Klein has specifically tried to blame me for this segment, which to be clear is a tiny little short part of a video that I made, responding to Ethan defaming me on his podcast.
This guy is actually a psychopath, a wanted. I know there's people lined up to get to this guy.
Just as Zionists like to pretend that history began on October 7th, Ethan Klein likes to pretend that his feud with all these other people began when the CPS call happened. Ethan dedicated like a 20-minute long segment of his podcast to like accusing me of being sued by many people, being like wanted globally, and of like sincerely threatening him because I uploaded Instagram stories that are clear jokes with stock photos of planes flying over a sign saying California on it, which he pretended to take seriously because again he's trying to frame himself as a victim of threats and stuff.
And then BadEmpanada today was threatening me in real life. He was saying he's on a plane coming to get me. I know there's people lined up to get to this guy. Here he is on a plane. Again, I don't even think this is his photo, but I think he's threatening me, right?
So again, in response to this segment, which Ethan Klein never brings up, he came at me first on his podcast, which hundreds of thousands of people saw. I made a video responding to that.
I mean, that clearly wasn't the first interaction. Just show the first interaction then if you want to like make that claim.
At him with the exact same energy that he keeps coming at me with, insulting him, getting down in the dirt, being a petty cunt. Just goes to show that he loves to dish it out, but he really cannot take it. The second that you throw the same shit back at him, he starts talking about lawyers and defamation and suing you. It's just so fucking fragile. And in that hour-long video where I responded to Ethan Klein, he zeroed in on like 10 to 20 second part of it where I mocked him for the ridiculous oversharing that he does on his podcast, where he just says shit that is so absurdly embarrassing and worrying, and that the CIA torturing you at Guantanamo Bay should not even be able to get out of you. Here's what I said. This clip that he keeps bringing up to blame me or some other people who supposedly watch this clip for supposedly getting CPS called on him. So the house is just like covered in dog shit, and he has kids, and his kids like crawl into the dog shit, and God forbid, I don't know what they do with it. I don't know if they eat it or if it's just from like contact with it with their hands or something, but they contracted a parasite that I had previously never heard of in my life called Giardia. Ethan Klein says this is defamation, but this is just me making fun of him for something that he said on his podcast. Let me show you the clip that I was referencing.
That was making fun of him? That was clearly you, at least the way you clipped out your own clip, you make it seem that you are making a factual, provable claim. In your own clip that you show.
Supposedly watch this clip for supposedly getting CPS called on him. So now the house is just like covered in dog shit, and he has kids, and his kids like crawl into the dog shit, and God forbid, I don't know what they do with it. I don't know if they eat it or if it's just from like contact with it with their hands or something, but they contracted a parasite that I had previously never heard of.
So the claim is that they did contract Giardia. Sorry, he said it wrong, so it threw me off. They did contract Giardia through the dog's feces. That's the claim you're making. You don't know how. You're not saying you understand how. Maybe it was just through touching it. Maybe it was through but that they contracted it. That was a false claim because Ethan did say that he thinks that they have Giardia. But the claim is, but then he said that they have not been tested and were going to get tested. And then it was proven that they were tested and did not have it. And again, you are still making the claim that his kids are walking around and it could be putting their hands in dog shit and eating dog shit. So, and plus, this isn't just a clip. It was the fact that Denims watched your full video, and over the course of like, I forget how long the span was. It was like 7 or 8 minutes or something. There were like 64 messages saying that people should call CPS. It was like over the span. It was like something like that, like 7 to 10 minutes or something like that.
In my life called Giardia. Ethan Klein says this is defamation, but this is just me making fun of him for something that he said on his podcast. Let me show you the clip that I was referencing there.
Olive has Giardia, which is a bacterial infection in the intestines that makes you have diarrhea.
And Olive has this?
Olive has this, yeah. She came to us with it.
Okay.
She had diarrhea, and
oh, poor baby.
Ducky came to us with that too. And I just wonder why.
It's relatively common.
They should have found it already. But anyway, so she has Giardia, so we have her on
Well, there's Dan literally saying, so you say it's a disease unknown to science. I've never heard of this before. And Dan says that it's a fucking very common thing immediately because he's heard of it.
An antibiotic, but we had to wait.
Again, I think it's so funny, the reference that I have for like this type of stuff is my now deceased RIP 82-year-old grandfather who at one point, two things. He had gotten Giardia at one point because he was elderly and, elderly people in their poo. But also at one point, he had asked me in like the same day, like 4 times, what's Sabra mean? Isn't that a Jew born in Israel? And I looked at it and I went, yes, Grandpa, yes. I felt like a fucking like a sleeper cell or something. Like I had just been like clocked on. I was like, what? What did you just say, Grandpa? What's Sabra mean? Is that a Jew born in Israel? And I was like, yes. Yeah, a disease previously unknown to man. Like, yes. Can you say that was a joke? Okay. But it's clear that you are using hyperbole to, even if that part is a joke, the hyperbolization is meant to just do exactly that, hyperbolize. It's not meant to say that it's a complete like falsehood or that you're making a complete joke, because isn't your whole thing that you make like, you don't make comedy videos, you don't make jokey videos, you make stuff on like history and world politics and all this shit.
Wait until Monday, which is today. We just got it today. And, well, Sonny's crawling around. He's putting everything in his mouth. He's at that age. He has giardia.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
and
no.
now Ela has giardia.
Shut. For real?
And now I think this morning I had diarrhea.
Oh, my God.
What can I do to not get it from
Yeah, I'm
you?
trying to...
Because I'm not trying to get
No,
it.
AC maybe?
It's extremely ridiculous to get. You have to ingest my poop. Are you planning on that?
Never.
Not really.
So then you're fine.
So in that clip, Ethan Klein clearly claims that he thinks he has giardia, that Hila Klein got giardia, and that one of his children also got giardia from...
Oh, sorry. Did the wrong thing.
his mouth, and he then goes on to imply you can only get giardia from consuming feces, clearly implying that his child put something that had dog shit on it into his mouth. Why would you say this shit on your podcast, Ethan? Why? Better still, how dare you say that I can't make fun of you for it, or that no one else can make fun of you for it? This is deeply embarrassing. And if you saw someone who you don't like saying something that absurdly embarrassing, you would make fun of them. I mean, you make fun of people all the time for absurdly embarrassing shit. Often you just make shit up about them, like you accuse them of being pedophiles and stuff. Your entire content base has always been based around making fun of people for either being embarrassing or for shit that you make up about them. And you dare to say that what I said about you in that clip was, one, not accurate to what you yourself were saying on your podcast, because it clearly was, and two, not precisely the same sort of mockery that you would gladly engage in if it were me saying something like that, or anyone else you don't like saying something like that. This might be a controversial take, but I actually think it's fine to mock a YouTuber who just said openly on his podcast to tens of thousands of viewers that his entire family got a parasite from ingesting feces. Controversial take, I know, right? Because from what Ethan says, you would think you're allowed to do something like that. You know,
Sorry, just give me a second. I'm actually looking through the transcript on the side. Here we go. So, Giardia was talked about at So it was like 14, 15 minutes in, or it was about 20 minutes in. So Giardia was talked about 20 minutes in. And then at 25 minutes, Ethan says... Ooh, sorry.
Perpetually have diarrhea?
That's the thing. I don't know if I have it. I'm pretty sure based on the smell alone, Ela's infected.
Also, you're taking all these antibiotics. Don't antibiotics usually...
So again, they don't know if they have it. He doesn't know. So again, in this same episode, just a little bit farther down, he says, "Oh, I don't know."
They give you the runs a little bit.
I don't know.
Side effects of it.
I think I've heard that too. Yeah. Antibiotics just kind of mess everything up.
Well, and I'm on like so many different antibiotics. That should just.
Oh, and what about this? What about all the other stuff that they give as examples of what also could be the reason for it? Oh, antibiotics they're on. Oh, it's all this different stuff.
Nip it in the bud, to use a pun.
Yeah, I feel like that. Yeah, it could cause diarrhea.
So I don't think I have it, but I think, yeah, like I said, Ela's horrific smelling diarrheas that she did several times throughout the night. That's what marriage is, you know.
But again, boom. So
the guy who got famous for mocking other YouTubers for the embarrassing shit they did and for often defaming them for things they did not do, he thinks it's out of line to make fun of him for saying embarrassing shit on his podcast. It's especially funny because his own chat, his own podcast chat, his members-only chat, also mocked him in much the same
way
that I did. They clearly...
Okay, maybe similar to you. I'll be genuine in saying that BadEmpanada was very careful in his words there to try and be like, oh, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying, oh, his kids are rolling around in shit. Well, I'm just making a wacky joke. But is this similar at all to Denim's chat saying, call CPS, someone should call CPS, someone needs to call CPS, Ethan eats poop, doo-doo family, caca Kleins, Ethan has a poop hands. What is happening in your house?
They didn't think that there was any problem with making fun of him for this until Ethan Klein signaled to them that they needed to stop pretending that he was a victim for getting made fun of for it. And this is another reason why Ethan has not actually reported the supposed CPS caller to the police. Because what is there to report? It clearly wasn't a false report. If someone called CPS and said, oh, hey, this guy just said live on air that his kid got parasites from what he implied was ingesting dog feces, that's a valid call. You might think it's an overreaction. You might think it's not needed. You might think it's a waste of resources. But the caller is not at fault. The caller wasn't.
Oh, I didn't even realize Lana was. It was. Oh my god, I didn't realize. Oh no.
Saying anything that was untrue because you factually did go on your.
And that just proves even further because we know that they are a dedicated fan. So using their comment as an example of these like snarkers in the chat is again hilarious.
Podcast and say that stuff. And that's why he hasn't actually denounced the caller to the police or anything, because that would blow the lid off this entire victim narrative. I didn't even think about this from like a child protection angle when I was mocking Ethan. I was just making fun of him for an embarrassing thing that he said on his podcast. But in retrospect, if Child Protective Services thinks that what he said in his podcast there was concerning enough that it warranted at least a checkup to make sure that everything was fine, then I trust them way more here than I do Ethan Klein, professional victim, desperate to concoct.
Well, again, they didn't come because they saw your video, dipshit. They would have come because someone called claiming that your video was an accurate representation of what they are claiming to see. You are so stupid. You think someone just like forwarded the video and they'd go, what the fuck is this? CPS would go, why'd you send me this?
Some sort of victim narrative to get out of being held to account for his disgusting opinions regarding Israel-Palestine. I think it's honestly ridiculous how uncritically people have accepted Ethan Klein's narrative surrounding this whole CPS thing, how uncritically they have accepted...
Yeah, and it's not a valid call regardless because you heard something someone said on a podcast. Like, like I'm saying, it's terrible. It is terrible to think that bad things can happen to people sometimes. But that doesn't mean that we have to jump to, like, using... emergency services and social services and all these different things and waste resources in times that we feel is like a crisis based on limited information. You have to have like a very, very clear instance of something to be able to make it like make a valid claim to call the police or something. Like you better have heard someone start shooting on a live stream before you call the police.
Accepted that he is some sort of victim of some sort of abhorrent act, when what really happened was at worst a mild inconvenience that took up maybe an hour or two of his time. If his house is not as dirty as he clearly implied in that podcast clip, then he never had anything to worry about, and it's clearly ridiculous that he's making such a big deal out of it, and it's even more ridiculous that he keeps baselessly accusing other people of having somehow incited it, when at no point anyone did anything more than just mocking embarrassing shit that he said on his podcast, the sort of shit that he really needs to learn how to keep to himself. Seriously, after the part that I showed you, he kept going on for like a couple more minutes, talking about the consistency of his child's shit.
Then once he starts having these crazy diarrheas, like in the middle of the night, all the time he's having these...
I wonder if this is completely after the point then. Oh, fuck. Do I need to pull it back up? Because if this is after when he says that he doesn't know if he has it and that it could be because of medication or whatever else he said, you are omitting that, and that is showing that you are doing it deceptively. Like, let me look this up now.
Crazy diarrheas. These are really nasty diarrheas. Extremely foul-smelling diarrheas. And I was immediately struck by the foulest fucking... His whole room was just wafting and the foulest diarrhea smell. And although meanwhile he's covered in viscous, or does viscous mean not flowing or flowing? Or non-viscous? Which one is very flowy?
Flowy is low viscosity.
Yeah. So very, very low viscosity.
Viscous
I'm doubting
is
myself.
having a thick, sticky consistency between solid and liquid.
The more viscous it is, the thicker it is.
Okay, so he had a very low...
Okay, no. So this was a little bit before still. So it was still a little bit before. But okay. Still, he obviously watched more than just a couple minutes or a clip. And it was just a few minutes later at 25. This was at 22 is when they started talking about viscosity. 22:36. And Ethan talks about not knowing what it is at 25. So okay. We're just being honest.
Viscosity,
yeah.
Diarrhea.
This man has something wrong with him. What the fuck is this, dude? Stop oversharing. Stop. Please.
Yeah, like literally, Ethan making a joke is somehow him oversharing. Like, come on, man. Just, here's an idea. Turn it off. Right? It's like these people watch this and go, Ethan, stop. No, Ethan, stop. Eating a fucking big bucket of popcorn. No, Ethan, please stop. Don't do that. Like, come on, bro.
Ethan, I'm worried about you, my friend. By the way, Ethan has had like a really long-term, like weird obsession with poop. Poop is constantly like a part of his content. His first ever YouTube video was actually basically a scat fetish video, which I'm not even sure if I can show it on YouTube now, but it's like him and Gila mimicking like scat fetish porn and like mimicking the ingestion of shit.
As you can see here, we got a nice chunk of feces. And so first you have to smell it. Smells right. And now I gotta just give it a taste to get the impression, see what it's all about. So,
and he constantly has like dog shit incidents on his podcast where crew members and guests just like randomly spot dog shit everywhere.
Don't you get it, bro? Poop is funny. Farts are funny. Ha ha. Jokes. Maybe you should pick up a fucking joke book. I'll send you 1,001 cool and funny jokes just for you, George Giantis.
I'm gonna do that.
I think that. I know, dude. I know, dude. Somebody shit or yeah.
Oh, look, we're gonna get on there. Look.
You shit on the floor, Tom?
Is that you, Tom?
The driving force.
That wasn't even
dog shit everywhere.
I'm gonna do that.
I think that. I know, dude. I know, dude. Somebody shit or yeah.
Oh, look.
This isn't Ethan.
We're gonna get on there. Look.
You shit on the floor, Tom?
That was Zach. Are they all just? They all have scat fetishes? I'm so confused what this point is. Poops are a juvenile joke that's an easy fallback for fodder. Is that so hard to understand?
That you, Tom?
The driving force.
Oh, sure. Pooped and he's eating it.
Oh my god, are you serious?
All right, let's
Dan.
Well, he's about to explain why it's called content poop, but this is why. It's because he talks about poop so much.
Can't help. Sure, why do I eat it, man? I mean, I understand doing it.
He has this awful habit. We're about to go take it and flush it. This just happened, but we're like celebrating because we want to, positively reinforce his pooping.
Sure, of course.
And as we're celebrating, Alfredo
oh no,
swoops in and eats a whole human shit of Theodore's.
Yeah, that story is disgusting, but it's also hilarious. And he's just is he maybe oversharing? Sure. But again, it's just like moments from his life that he finds comical. What's the issue? Again, poop is funny, bro. Don't act so grown up.
This size, show me. Like a whole human shit size. And he's going back for seconds.
He was just standing and just pooped and peed on the floor.
He peed all over the couch.
And the couch.
Oh, no. And he got under the couch.
And then guess who comes running in?
Oh, they're all laughing. Males and females alike of different races and ethnicities. Wow. It's almost as if poop unites us all. Mr. Hanky would be proud.
It was Ducky
this time.
Or not Mr. Hanky. Is it Mr. Hanky? Yeah, it is Mr. Hanky.
Oh!
He started eating the poop. Oh my
god. Dan's off, Mike. Shredder pooped.
He pooped in the office?
Yeah, I'm cleaning up
shit.
fucking shit right now.
Oh no, Shredder, it's your birthday.
Yeah, that's the only reason we're letting get away with it right now. It's a nice white one too.
Oh man. Hopefully our office manager doesn't see that.
Your dog ate its own shit? You fed it to them. I'm calling Animal Protective Services. The APS. It is just so stupid. These clips are just so funny too because it's not even him. He totally went on like Filmot, the fucking way you could just like look up keywords across a bunch of videos and just went poop and pulled all of the clips of them talking about poop, regardless of who said it, regardless of like, come on, man, put a little bit more effort. You sourced all of these. You sourced all of these links that you, for some reason, like only brought to like here. But regardless.
And Ethan himself has stepped in dog shit while streaming from his home.
Is this shit?
What's happening?
The carpet from one of the dogs. Like a super it's like a super, how do you call it? Fibery,
Petrified?
super fluffy with like strings, Yeah. And obviously we clean our carpet, but I can't even see it with my naked eye. I was just passing my foot over it and felt a bump. It's old, by the way. It's hard.
So making fun of Ethan Klein for having a shitty house or for having dog shit everywhere is literally the most warranted thing in the world. Not only is it well evidenced from the many dog shit related incidents that he's had on his podcast and the man's long-term obsession with shit, but it's also just such...
Okay, if you were just joking, if you were just fucking making a ha-ha funny joke, you can admit then that it was wrong for people to take that joke and call CPS. But you don't think that. You think that your jokes somehow carry validity and would be a valid reason for CPS to then come to their house. That makes no fucking sense. That literally makes no sense. You think it's valid for CPS to come to their house based on your joking. That makes no sense.
Such a deeply unserious thing to be made fun of in the first place. Like, you're basically being called a poopy head. I'll tell you right now, Ethan Klein, if you would defame me as like having a dirty house covered in dog poop, rather than defaming me as a pedophile from literally your first ever response to me, I would have laughed at that. It's just not that serious. It's like a schoolyard insult sort of thing. If anything, I'm being very nice to you, given the amount of actual evidence there is against you, and your inappropriateness towards children, by instead focusing on what is ultimately just something funny and weird about you, which is that you constantly step in shit, you constantly talk about shit, and you overshare about shit all the time. Again, I have to emphasize.
Here, he tried to make a funny thumbnail. I know I'm not going to be able to reuse it again, so I have to show it at least one more time. My thumbnail from the other day. I was really proud of this one. Oh, I don't know it. I really fucked that up, huh? Oopsie. I didn't even realize. I don't know how I did that, but okay. I was really proud of this. This is one of my best works.
In any other situation, if someone was as vivid about their poop-related...
Yeah, quite literally. One of the funniest stories on the podcast is Zach shitting on someone's lawn. Like, he doesn't understand humor. What can we say?
Incidents, as Ethan Klein is and has been, to the point that people have made like 5 to 10 minute long Ethan Klein poop compilations. He would have no problems mocking people for that. It's only when it's him that he's suddenly like, this is so super serious, I'm going to send you a letter from my lawyer. It's only when someone brings the same energy back to him, the same like schoolyard...
You are like such a fucking like, oh my god, that just so disingenuous trying to conflate that and be like, if somebody was just getting made fun of for having a poopy house, other people would be... It's like, dude, it's because of what the outcome of it was. You made a video. People, because of that video and Denim's reaction to it, someone called CPS. That's like our presumption based upon the evidence that we have and what was said to CPS. And the fact that the CPS, workers later had stated in a document Ethan had received that it was not a non-founded claim. It was like an unfounded claim or whatever. And it's just so like, I'm genuinely getting broken. My brain, it hurts.
Insult energy that he has for everyone else right back to him. Does he suddenly think it's all out of line and wrong? No one actually believes that. The people who genuinely like accept and spread Ethan Klein's victim narrative here don't believe it one bit.
And again, he thinks it's okay that they called CPS, that they could have called CPS based on that joke. That was way too many quotes, but you get what I'm saying. I do that a lot. Just keep hitting it.
No one actually thinks that making fun of someone for their poop obsession should be off limits. No one actually thinks that making fun of someone for oversharing on their podcast about poop should be off limits. It's all a part of Ethan and his fans and his defenders' strategy, because collectively between them, they know that he's fucked on the actual arguments regarding the issues of importance, Israel-Palestine. And this is the only avenue that they see for possibly winning, at least in their own minds, just playing the victim endlessly over the most ridiculous shit ever, like basically being called a poop head.
And then he's gonna bring up the fucking skulls. Bro. Oh my god. But here, this is called the Skulls Hoax Debunked. Let's see this fucking huge debunk he's about to do. He's about to prove it all wrong. It's all false.
Now, after this, there was a very weird incident where Ethan tried to bring up another supposed harassment campaign against him that was related to or coincided with the CPS call. He said that he was mailed 2 human skulls as a threat. And he apparently didn't mention this for about 2 months. He only mentioned it after iDubbbz made a video about him, apparently because iDubbbz's video about him put him on the back foot or something, and he felt like he needed to start playing victim again by bringing up another story about how he was getting harassed in real life.
There's something that I've never talked about publicly, but around the same time, we received 2 human skulls in the mail at our home, which led us to having a very pleasant interview with the FBI.
Now, Ethan immediately posted pictures of these skulls to his Instagram and other platforms, and people quickly noticed that they had the serial number showing. And they found out that these skulls were from a website called Skulls Unlimited, which sells and rents skulls mostly to education and entertainment companies. And they also noticed that the specific skull that Ethan Klein had shown clearly in his stories was actually already back on the Skulls Unlimited website and being sold again.
And let's see. I wonder if that skull ever went back up. I really do.
Ethan Klein had shown clearly in his stories was actually already back on the Skulls Unlimited website and being sold again. That's pretty...
Because it got taken down, I'm pretty sure. Like, I don't know why he hasn't talked about this. This video came out 12 days ago. Why don't you talk about the fact that the website took it down immediately?
Weird, given that he said the FBI was investigating this, right? You know, the FBI wouldn't clearly...
It's also just so stupid. Who gives a shit where it came from? They are sending him human skulls. Like, it's so dumb.
Not just let you send this important evidence of a supposed threat back to the seller so that the seller could have it listed again.
And it would be considered the desecration of a human corpse. Because you can own human skeletons. That is true. You can own human skeletons. But if you use them in any way other than educational, like, demonstration, you have committed a crime. You cannot paint them. You cannot set them up in decoration. You cannot, like, that's not the purpose for them. And using them as a prank, using them even if it isn't a threat, just to send it as a prank would be the misuse of a human corpse. Like, regardless of if now they're just medical devices or if now they're just, even if you want to be like, oh, legally it doesn't count for what, even if it doesn't legally, morally it's still fucked.
And for sale literally within a month of this supposedly happening. It's also just unbelievable that Ethan could have kept this on the down low. Ethan is desperate to play the victim, and if something like this had actually happened, he would have mentioned it immediately. Like, when the CPS call happened, Ethan literally immediately dedicated like an entire podcast episode to it. Yet him...
It's almost as if something like that is a much, like, more intense threat that would be, like, a bit odd that you almost wouldn't want to give credence to because they have the address, right? Oh, they sent this to my house? They actually do know where I live then. Maybe I shouldn't bring this up because this feels like a threat. Until you've reached that level of, like, you know, comfort where you're like, okay, now I can kind of chill out a little bit. And again, the reason he felt like it was necessary to bring it up after was because it did not fizzle out, it did not, like, go away, and it became necessary to explain the extent of the harassment.
Apparently receiving human skulls as a threat. He didn't mention it at all for months. No, I don't believe that for 1 second. Receiving human skulls in the mail as a threat would be significantly worse than just having to deal with a social worker from CPS once or twice. Yet he didn't mention it at all when it supposedly happened, only months later. Ethan and his crew also claimed on the podcast that these skulls were sent out by Skulls Unlimited on a rush order without them requiring any payment for them, and that's why supposedly they can't actually track down the person who sent them these skulls.
They pay later, net 30 or something like that. So somebody went through the process of setting up one of these accounts, and they shipped the shit without receiving a single penny from anybody, which if you think that sounds fucking crazy, I agree.
Now, Skulls Unlimited is a fairly, reputable company that deals with real human remains, and this story is incredibly doubtful, especially given that they...
Oh, okay. So Dan's a liar too, and they're all in on this lie, is what you're saying. They're all complicit in Ethan lying about human skulls. Okay. If that's your argument.
They show literally zero proof for it, it's just their word. This is a theme with Ethan, by the way. With his victim narratives, he just never shows any evidence. He just expects...
Well, what about his evidence is corroboration through Dan, who is the one who contacted Skulls Unlimited. So that would be his evidence, is that he wasn't the one who made the call, it was Dan, who can corroborate that he saw the skulls, he contacted the website, he, like, come on.
Expects people to take his word for it. It's crazy. So they tried to claim this person who sent them these skulls had basically imitated a business to get them sent to them, and that's why Skulls Unlimited trusted them. I mean, this sounds like an international super criminal or something. And that's how they ended up fooling this company that mostly deals with actual legitimate businesses and that is very unlikely to just accept from new unknown clients literally zero payment before they send out multiple actual human skulls that cost thousands of dollars. The narrative just reeks of bullshit, and especially reeks of bullshit for another reason. Ethan Klein said that the skulls were mailed to their house, and that upon seeing the boxes, him and Gila initially thought that the boxes were actually computer equipment for Dan because they were really big, and they get stuff mailed out to their house for the studio and for the podcast all the time. Dan being one of the podcast co-hosts.
People have seen that these things cost quite a bit of money.
He's the producer. Get your fucking facts straight, bitch.
Yeah, I mean, the receipt is actually in here. Let's see, the total was $2,463.88. Also, priority the shipping was expensive, bro. $339?
That's what I mean. That's why I thought it was computer equipment, because it was a big ass package.
Right,
so box, and Dan always shipping.
Everything's computer.
We're always shipping stuff to the office or to my house. Sometimes I bring it in. It's completely common.
So problem with that narrative is that the journalist Taylor Lorenz posted photos of the boxes that were received by Ethan Klein, and they are clearly marked Museum of Osteology, which is a name that Skulls Unlimited uses for the museum where they exhibit their products before.
What?
So problem with that narrative is that the journalist Taylor Lorenz...
As annoying as it is when Ethan Klein blatantly lies about me, I've seen people saying that he also lied about receiving skulls. I want to debunk this because he did in fact receive skulls. They shared photos of the package they received with me when I was attempting to help them.
Lorenz posted photos of the boxes that were received by Ethan Klein, and they are clearly marked Museum of Osteology, which is a name that Skulls Unlimited uses for the museum where they exhibit their products before they are bought. So I'm not exactly sure how you would mistake that for computer equipment. It seems pretty clear where the box came from. And they also have this other picture that they took of...
Well, yeah. I will say that is a bizarre question, but I mean...
So I'm not exactly
I would just be confused. I would be confused by this, but regardless, I mean, it doesn't really matter.
sure how you would mistake that for computer equipment. It seems pretty clear where the box came from. And they also have this other picture that they took.
Because I'm wondering, is it in a greater box? Because it could have been in a greater shipping box. Well,
abort. So I'm not
actually, that is my assumption. Wait, go back.
Everything's computer. We're always shipping stuff to the office or to my house sometimes and I bring it in. It's completely common.
So problem with that narrative is that the journalist Taylor Lorenz...
This box doesn't look like it's been through shipment. Look at the corners. It was probably all packaged in a greater box. At least I would assume, or in like a maybe a wrapping, like a plastic casing. Because having worked in receiving for like an individual, I mean, I guess if it's a fragile, but it's also not marked fragile on this box. You would assume that the skulls would be marked as fragile. But I guess this also isn't, this is just one side. It could be on the other sides.
Posted photos of the boxes that were received by Ethan Klein, and they are clearly marked Museum of Osteology, which is a name that Skulls Unlimited uses for the museum where they exhibit their products before they are bought. So I'm not exactly sure how you would mistake that for computer equipment. It seems pretty clear where the box came from. And they also have this other picture that they took of the boxes that were inside that box of the 2 human skulls, which are clearly marked real human skull with the serial number on them. You thought these boxes from...
That's true too, yeah. I mean, they're saying it could have been computer equipment, but it also could have just been anything. It could have been like a prop or something that they were getting. Like, you know what I mean? You never know what they're... The type of stuff that they order. They're ordering random fucking shit all the time. So, yeah. I mean, that's not the best argument. Even if it wasn't... it doesn't even look like computer equipment. He could have... That's just like his first thought. It could have been literally... He thought it was anything. He thought it was a prop. He thought it was something. Cool. Why didn't he say that, though? I don't know. But again, I don't...
Second year. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention this, but Ethan Klein tried to blame me for this literally immediately. According to him, I sent him the skulls.
This is a huge guess. It's just based on feeling and knowing what this guy's MO is. But I have suspected from the beginning, once again, with no direct evidence, this is just my opinion, that BadEmpanada is the one that sent the skulls.
Like, oh my fucking god, man. Which just makes it all the weirder that his whole narrative doesn't add up. What happened to the FBI investigation, Ethan? Where is there any evidence that you had any communication with them? Where's any evidence that anything here happened as you said it did? Why are there so many holes in your story? Why is your story contradicted by the actual available evidence? And if this actually did happen, why did you wait so long to mention it? And why did you drop it so quickly after people actually looked into it to poke holes in your story and see how none of it added up at all? Interestingly, around the time that Ethan Klein first revealed the CPS call, he did a promo for an artist for his Angelic...
It's a pretty standard process for how much most businesses use purchase orders. $2,000 is peanuts for scientific supply orders. Yeah, I'd believe that too, honestly. I mean, if they did it under a business name, under like a fake business name or something, just set up some fucking stupid, like some LLC or S Corp or something, and we're just like, I need these skulls. I could believe that they would just mail them out in good faith, but I also think that that's bad practices on Skulls Unlimited part because, like, again, you do not want these people that donated their bodies to science to be defaced and, you know, used for poor purposes.
Klein's apparel company, Teddy Fresh, and this artist is known for skulls in his designs, and the shirt that Ethan actually wore of this artist's design was of a skull.
Wow. Teddy Fresh, by the way, this new shirt, teddyfresh.com, is the bad...
So that's why they would buy human skulls. Amazing. Oh, I never put up a poll. Oh, no. Do we even have a title? Still no title. I guess the poll still works. Holy. And obviously they're starting at 12:30, so this is going from 12:30. I think they'll probably be on time, since they're setting it for late, but we always got to do the poll. Because I think as soon as they give Ethan the little window, he'll use it all up. You know what I mean? It's like you tell him 12, he'll be here at 12:30. You tell him 12:30, he's gonna be here like, don't want to push it.
Badass trucker tea, baby. I love these shit.
Yeah, and why would they need real human skulls? Yeah, that's just like my biggest critique of it is like using this as your example of like, well, they had skull designs. You think they wouldn't just buy a fucking prop for like $50, like a decent looking prop for like $150 rather than spending $2,000? But no, so it was a two-part scheme. They purchased it under a fake business account so that they could return it, and so they could, because they didn't know if they were going to use it for the photos, because they didn't in the end. So like, it's just like, come on, man.
We've been making kind of a lot, or not a lot, but it's been a thing, like making these hardcore badass shirts. The fucking truck from hell, bro. Let's get it.
Yo.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Oh, reminds me of Kitty Herman. Remember when he gets in the truck?
Of course, Large Marge.
Yeah, Large Marge. Yeah. That's Large Marge.
Ethan and Gila Klein have also said that the supposed skull incident happened right around the time of the CBS call, which would put it very close to when they did this promo for the Skull Artist. Interestingly, another one of Teddy Fresh's collaborators also happens to follow Skulls Unlimited on Instagram. It's all just very fishy that all of this happens to align so well. And that
again, dude, it's not, that is literally the biggest, like, let's try it. Where can I buy a skull? Let's see, okay, so, Anatomical Warehouse, Skulls Unlimited. It's almost like it's the easiest fucking place to get skeletons. It's almost like it's one of the most, like you said, it's the most well-renowned, like, most well-known. Like, oh my god.
there are so many clear holes in Ethan's recounting of these events, and that even the broad narrative surrounding them doesn't really,
like, other people following Skulls Unlimited literally means nothing.
Make much sense. You know, the FBI just let you return the skulls. That's usually something that you do when you bought the item yourself, right? And they would have wanted it for evidence because, you know, you claim that you were threatened with death. They would want the evidence of that death threat, and they would probably keep it and not just let you return it immediately.
What do you think, bro? Oh my god. It came in a contained package from the original, like, provider. They're the ones who sent them the package. Why the fuck would the FBI need to keep the package in any regard? They would probably take photographs, if anything, make a report, but they would not need to keep it. Like, because, again, it doesn't have fingerprints, it doesn't have any way to decide, like, to figure out who purchased them. It's just dumb. Why would they need to keep them?
Also claimed that the photos that he had his crew member AB take of the skulls were as evidence for the FBI, which also doesn't make sense because the FBI wouldn't need you to take pictures of these skulls. They have photographers themselves. They would just take them themselves.
Again, do you think AB knows all this stuff and he's just like a fucking, like, he's a genius who's in there, he knows about the FBI. He just did what he thought was best. And do you think that they're so stupid? They're just that dumb that they would post a video with the blurred images just to sell out and fucking, like, show how stupid they are by posting the video, by posting the images unblurred, where you can see him holding the tag, not just like it dangling there and they're able to read it. He's fucking reading the tag in this one. Like, it's just so dumb.
You also have to ask some other pretty basic questions here, like why the hell would a brand like Teddy Fresh, which routinely deals with promotional props like these, assume this was a threat? There's nothing in the box, there's no note, nothing like that. There was 2 skulls in the original packaging from a reputable company. Not exactly the scariest thing in the world. There's nothing indicating that it is a threat aside from Ethan Klein saying as such, and they have presented no evidence beyond their word for that. I suppose a death threat.
Yeah, like literally they don't have. Yeah, and also you would maybe take pics and send them to the FBI. Yeah, you don't just go, hey FBI, I got skulls. You'd probably send them a couple images yourself. So yeah, even beyond that point, it's just dumb. Because yeah, it's not even for the FBI to, like, put in there. They're going to look at these and go, saturation's a little off. What ISO did you use? Like, it's fucking, like, what?
from someone just buying human skulls and sending them directly to you from the vendor is just outlandish as hell on the face of it. It's also incredibly suspicious that Ethan Klein claims this was a threat and he claims to have been impacted so much by the CPS call, given that immediately afterwards, him and Gila started bringing their kids onto the show, showing their faces and everything. Something that they had previously said they would not do because it puts the kids in danger. Yeah, that certainly makes a ton of sense. I'm sure this was definitely a threat, and you definitely...
They have little boys, and they probably don't want to scare them by going, no, stay over there. No, stay over there. Don't come over here. Cut away from me. Like, they're little kids. Of course, he's just going to let them, if they want to come on for a second and say hi or whatever. But yeah, if people are going to do something with that, then they're fucking insane. They shouldn't be fearful to, show their kids every once in a while. But their whole thing is that they try to not go out of their way to be posting their kids online.
feel really harassed and targeted, and you're definitely not just making this shit up to play victim. This does not add up at all. So here's what I think happened here, which is a lot more in line with the presently available evidence than Ethan Klein's own narrative. Teddy Fresh was doing a promo with the artist known for including skulls in his designs. Someone at Teddy Fresh ordered 2 human skulls with the intention of including them in the podcast episode where they promoted this guy's designs. The skulls, however, did not arrive in time for this episode. Since the skulls were now not of any use for them, they had AB take pictures of them to prove to the company that they were in good condition before they put them in the boxes and send them back. Teddy Fresh is also a reputable company, at least in the business world, perhaps not among clothing enthusiasts, that is certainly well known enough for Skulls Unlimited to trust.
So then why did they take the link down? You haven't brought that up at all. He never brought up the fact that Skulls Unlimited, after it got put back up, again, this was made 12 days ago. This happened, what, months ago at this point? A month ago? A couple months ago? Happened a while ago. It was back up on the website. Back up on the website. Yes. Again, too many air quotes. Back up on the website. But it got taken down like immediately after people started talking about it and probably started contacting the website. Because they probably went, oh, this isn't in our inventory anymore. Why do we still have it listed? But again, didn't bring that part up at all.
Trust in the same way they trust educational institutions and other companies who they typically deal with. And Ethan, being on the back foot at this time, opportunistically said...
And again, I don't know if they're back up. It might be back up. But I don't care regardless because the whole thing is like... It's just stupid. Because if they didn't do anything wrong and all they did was receive a return, I don't think they would have taken it down. But based on like the information that they probably received, they probably felt a little sketched out being like, damn, this does look like bad practices on our end. Let's kind of like brush it under the rug a little bit.
Said, I can probably weaponize this.
George would write amazing fanfic. Yeah, he is just kind of creating a narrative right now.
Whole skull thing at some later date, which he then tried to do, but people caught on to the fact that it was very likely bullshit pretty much immediately, given how pretty much nothing about his narrative about it added up. So he mostly dropped the issue, aside from to occasionally say, oh my god, you questioned the skulls, as if he thinks everyone should just uncritically believe his narrative surrounding everything. Like seriously, Ethan Klein and his fans talk about like skull denial. They talk about this as if it's like denying the Holocaust or something, as if not just
Who the fuck has ever said skull denial? What?
Critically accepting every single one of Ethan Klein's victim narratives is some sort of horrible slight, like a grand crime.
The fuck are you talking about? Oh my god, you like psychopaths just love to make everything about the Holocaust and anti-Semitism and this and that. It's just like Ethan points out when he sees valid like anti-Semitic, like, you know what I mean, when he sees something that is actually anti-Semitic, not valid anti-Semitism. That sounded like that's what I was saying. That's not what I meant. I mean something that is actually anti-Semitic. He goes out, he points it out. To say that, oh, they just, everything is just a big like fucking like saying that it's all hyperbole and everybody's just, you know, blowing everything out of proportion is so stupid, because you literally just undermined everything. Like, Ethan Klein is unhinged, crazy, stupid, and likely abusing numerous different types of hard drugs all at once. All of his accusations against me are provable projections.
Like, if he wants to get at someone, honestly, it's almost always Hassan Piker. It always comes back to Hassan Piker in some way. What he does is he's like, how dare you watch a video from this person who I say is bad? And I said they're bad, so they're bad, and you shouldn't be allowed to watch that video that they made. He does this for me all the time, obviously. He's just like, oh my god, you talked to BadEmpanada. You watched a BadEmpanada video.
Do Rent Link know that Matt Lieb conducted an interview with BadEmpanada? I mean, that alone should be career ending. At least in terms of like working with Rent and Link. Like, you don't get to talk to somebody like BadEmpanada and then continue on to have like a mainstream job. I'm sorry. It's like, he's that fucking insane.
You know why he does that? Because he can't refute the actual content of the video. So he just like, you shouldn't be allowed to watch the video. This is really the main Zionist tactic in general. I'm making a video about this very soon, by the way, where they know they can't actually deal with the facts and the evidence. So what they do instead is they say that it's somehow some sort of horrible crime that is just self-evidently wrong, that the evidence against them be presented at all, by doing things like, you know, delegitimizing the speaker, which is all he ever does to me.
Wait, what?
So he just like, you shouldn't be allowed to watch the video. This is really the main Zionist tactic in general. I'm making a video about this very soon, by the way, where they know they can't actually deal with the facts and the evidence. So what they...
Well, in my first part, I basically went through all of this. I didn't go through every single little fucking article that you pinned because there's quite a few Al Jazeera and like biased articles in here. And also some of them didn't at all try and exercise the points.
Dealing with the evidence that his political opinions are wrong. He will defame people in the most vile way imaginable. And then he dares to...
Again, the defamation of calling you a pedophile is a tweet that you haven't proven to be false. All you've said is that it was false. In the same way that you're claiming Ethan just kicks everything aside and says it's not true, it's not real. You literally said, this tweet's fake and was created by people that hate me. That was your fucking evidence. So, good job.
Try and fall back and play the victim as his audience numbers keep slipping and slipping and slipping, because it turns out that denying genocide doesn't make for good content. So Ethan Klein's victim narrative is just total bullshit. It's a pathetic attempt to avoid accountability for his disgusting political views. He constantly accuses people of perceived slights against him that never actually happened, exaggerates the things that did actually happen to an absurd degree, constantly attributes these things to people for whom he has literally no evidence that they were connected to it even in the slightest, and just constantly does way worse than what he's constantly accusing other people of doing, to even the smallest of targets. There was this one especially unhinged moment on his...
They got Flocka Steiny. Oh. It's the truth. Still haven't gotten it. Still haven't gotten a title, though. Kind of crazy. Oh, the concurrent viewers jumped up for a second. Sorry, I got to self-plug again. Remember, like and subscribe if you haven't already, because I do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, talking about H3-related topics. But yes, let's continue. We're getting there.
His podcast, where he scrolled over an Instagram comment that told Hila to go to hell. Now, just to be clear here, Jews famously don't actually believe in hell. And Ethan's immediate reaction was to just go to that guy's...
Okay. Just because you don't believe in eternal damnation and torture doesn't mean... that means that I can say that you deserve that, right? Oh, you don't believe in hell? Okay, then that means that I can just say that I hope demons, stick things inside of you, George. It's just like, it's a stupid argument. It's so dumb.
Personal Instagram profile, scroll through his pictures with his friends and his family, while encouraging his viewers to go and harass this person, bringing up pictures literally of his mother, his relatives, and clearly and directly incite harassment against this guy for saying go to hell.
Man, I'm being obsessed with you guys when you only had 15K subs. Glad that's behind me. Enjoy hell. This guy's for real. Joe Coop. Look this guy up. Enjoy hell. He said enjoy hell.
Yeah, no, I mean, they think I'm actually the devil.
I feel like this one's real. We caught you, Joe. Public facing account.
Joe.
I see you. You wanted to be cute? Let's see it. Nice mustache. Strong entry. Not exactly the Esteban, but halfway there.
He's not. Oh, yeah.
Yes, this is a real guy.
He's not showing up for me.
So this is Joe Coop. He left a message on Hila's Star David tattoo. He said, I'm glad that phase is behind me. Enjoy hell. Joe Coop said. Let's start David. Here he is. If anyone, let's see if I know, can identify him at all.
Oh, shit. That weenie truck he's in front of, that's in Dearborn.
Is that right?
Yeah,
I love that AB said this. The Oscar Mayer wiener truck goes around the country. I saw it when I was like 13. I lived nowhere near Michigan. I just love that he was like, oh, there it is. I know that. Oscar Myers, Michigan.
Dearborn owns the Oscar Mayer truck?
It's at the Henry Ford Museum. Yeah, they also have the...
Wait, it doesn't travel around?
Yeah, I thought I tried.
I mean, it used to in like the 60s, unless there's multiple.
I guess I grew up in the 60s.
Which one's Joe? Let's see. I think it's this guy.
No.
That's Joe?
Doesn't look anything like him.
No, it is. Here, let me show you. That's him. That's him right there. Trust me, when I see an anti-Semite, I know I can spot him.
Wow. Spot him from a crowd.
That's him. So I don't know if you guys all know that, but your friend Joe here actually is a fucking giant racist piece of shit. And like he likes to tell Jewish people they're going to hell on Instagram on his public profile. I don't know if any of you guys know him, but certainly anyone who would employ him, or probably even his parents, would be pretty disappointed to see that. Although who knows? Here's his mom. I'm not gonna click that for her. Oh, no, fuck him. This is what here's your mom. I wonder if she knows what you do on social media on your free time.
I will say, Ethan, the employment thing is a little too far. Coming after people's employment, one is it's a little far, but it also won't really do anything, because I imagine most jobs will like pick up and be like, huh? They're a what? Dude, do you want a fucking pizza or not? Like, okay, cool, then bye. Don't clog up this fucking line. They might get fired for that, honestly, but like legitimately, I don't think many jobs are going to care about that all that much. Like about their the political opinions of their workers. But also, I do not find it that bad to contact people's like immediate family or stuff like that if you see them saying stuff online in their forward-facing account. Because hey, if you're gonna say it, I think if you're gonna say something, you should say it in public, and everybody should know what you're saying. There's nothing that I wouldn't say in front of my parents. All my beliefs, I say to them, and I argue with them fucking hard about it. We go head to head all the time. It's very transformative and a good time. But yeah, like, come on. Has it started? 12:30. Come on. Mods.
You love your mama. Good thing she's not Jewish, eh, Joe? I love it. I love it.
Now, I don't know about you, but people tell me to go to hell all the time. Or way worse, actually. And, the way that I deal with that is just, okay, whatever. Or I block them, or whatever. Ethan Klein's reaction to this mild slight, so the most generic of, negative phrases that can be levied against you, is just a live doxing session that resulted in this guy's underage sister receiving death and rape threats from Ethan Klein's fans.
Here's the thing I will say, too. That's crazy. Shouldn't do that. Anybody that did do that, you're not a true fan, and you should be, put down. But not put down in, a physical way. I mean, put down mentally, told that was wrong. Don't kill people. It sounded like that's what I meant. That's not what I meant. But anybody sending somebody this is fucking insane. But I would also question, this person actually being an H3 fan purely because they're just blatantly going, hey, Ethan Klein is going to do this. Even if you are this deranged, I think most people would have the sensibilities to go, I don't want to get him in trouble, though. I'm not going to strictly say it was because of him. So I feel like this is almost again, this is a presumption, but I would guess this person isn't an actual fan, saw that it was spreading through snark pages and was like, you know what? I'm going to create a burner where I can fucking go say the most insane shit looking like an H3 fan. Because like I'm saying, we will denounce this every step of the way. Anybody saying shit like this is wrong and should be put down. Again, not physically. It's not. Now people are gonna think, if anybody sees that, they're gonna think that I'm actually dog whistling. I'm actually not. I said that accidentally at first. Now I'm just joking. But genuinely, if you're saying shit like this, people should call you out for it and tell you that you're stupid and wrong and acting in a poor and malicious way that will only be a detriment to you, your community, and the world at large. But yeah. Anyways.
Fans. He's done the same to me and many others. Ethan Klein basically makes doxing a pastime. This guy has enough money to basically go on a cruise around the world until the end of time, but what he does instead is he sits there hunched down on his phone, spending his money to dox and harass people. Ethan has openly said on his podcast that he has hired private investigators to stalk me in real life.
My full attention is going to you, George, like the Eye of Sauron. I see you out there, you fucking cockroach. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like to do the psyop either because, there are obviously crazy people in every community. I've said this before that just calling out Hassan for his crazy community doesn't mean we should overlook people that are doing shit within our own. So that's why it's important to say that I will always stand against people that talk like that rather than just saying that it's fake. I think that it's possible that it's fake because I personally would be so opposed to anybody ever talking like that. And I find myself to be quite a big H3 fan.
And I know your whole thing. You act tough. You're like, oh, I do psyops, and I'll mail you shit, and I'll fucking, yeah, you're full of shit, bro. You're not gonna do shit. And I'll tell you who's gonna do shit. Me. I'm coming, okay? So you're not safe either. Just wait. Keep talking that shit. When you CPS coming to my house, when you, George, specifically propagated this whole thing by saying that my kids were crawling around and eating shit, potentially eating shit, you welcome to my world, baby. You know what I mean? Let's fucking get it, dude. And I've been in a law school with Ryan Kavanaugh now for over 3 years, and I've spent countless hundreds of thousands. To me, this is just my free time. So yeah, we're gonna be working with Argentinian lawyers, investigators, police, and we are going to be basically exploring all and every possible legal and civil venue to hold the human STD responsible.
To be clear,
and civil venue to hold the human STD.
This is where he says my docs, of course. George Giantis, the thing that's easily accessible, easy to find. That's how I found that new image. It's in my thumbnail. I love that image. It's a good one. Good new find.
Responsible.
To be clear again, he did this in retaliation for me calling him a poopy head based on his embarrassing tangent about shit.
Again, why do you have to hide behind a fake name? I don't want to get my name up, so I'm going to hide behind a fake name. But if you genuinely have such a big opposition, I mean, if my name came out, I would probably just be like, okay, that sucked, but whatever. I don't know why he has to be like, I got doxxed. Your name was out there. People found it. You probably shouldn't have started by using your, your real name, because I've always used aliases. It helps. But also, I put my face behind it, so it doesn't really matter. Anybody who knows me in real life will see this and be like, who's that guy? Who the fuck is that? We still haven't started.
In his house, on his podcast. He's also claimed that he's reporting me to the police, something that he hasn't actually done because he knows deep down that no laws have been broken. People responding to you on YouTube videos and making fun of the embarrassing shit that you said in your podcast isn't a crime, Ethan. It's not a crime when you do that sort of thing to other people. But suddenly, when I bring the same energy back to you, it is? Give us a fucking break, you little victim, you crybaby. I'd call you a crybaby.
His name was in his own fandom wiki. Yeah. And then he got it removed because, again, he likes using aliases that are just like offsets of his name. No, sorry, my real name isn't Captain Quasar. Sorry, I didn't want to have to tell you this way, but now you all know.
Bully, but I don't know. You're honestly just so meek and pathetic that I don't think you could ever bully anyone. So Ethan Klein is someone who, to be clear, has provably and openly stated that he has hired people to stalk me in real life, that he is a member of a Discord server dedicated to doxing, stalking, and harassing me, that he plans to make false police reports against me. And now he's saying that he's making a website in which he spreads my docs and spreads all of the made-up defamatory claims that he has been spreading about me this whole time. This guy claims to be a victim of me. Ethan Klein is a meek, pathetic little bitch. Excuse the strategic misogyny, but I think it's warranted in this case, especially given...
You talk about this website? This one right here, georgegiantis.com. This website is not endorsed by George Giantis. It is a site that chronicles his behavior and abuse. All views contained on are the opinions of the authors or the individual submitter and should not be taken as fact. This website? Is this sharing your docs? Because again, if my name came out, I wouldn't be that upset about that. I would be more upset if like my address came out or something like that. That's when you're like getting into like it's not a call to action, but it's as good as one. You know what I mean? Oh, I didn't even notice the title. I had a falling out with Steiny and Nelk. And Nelk? Ethan and Kyle aren't bros anymore? Oh my god, who's he gonna fucking smoke darts with?
And how much this guy loves to call women bitch. Honestly, holy fuck. He has, for going on 15 years, dished it out to absolutely everyone, but he can't take it at all.
Ethan is so stupid and useless that even using his Zionist propaganda as a launch point to discuss issues of actual importance is a waste of time at this point. Dude, titles of sections are supposed to be like a couple words. You could have read this out to us. You could have just said this. Why the fuck is this on? Like, it genuinely pisses me off when creators do this. Read it. Just read it to us. Don't put fucking big pieces of unless it's like a legal document or something that you're like pulling an excerpt from or something. But you could just say this. This is your opinion.
There was a point where I thought like responding to Ethan Klein could be useful as some sort of teaching moment. And for a time it was. You know, he was spreading very generic, like low IQ, pro-Israel talking points, and that gave me a good platform to talk about said talking points, to refute them. The thing is though, when you refute Ethan Klein, he doesn't respond to your refutation. He just starts defaming you. He just starts attacking you personally. He just starts making up shit about you. And there's only so many times that you can respond to someone like that before it just becomes a shitfest. Because when he's not adapting his political arguments that he's already been refuted on, you know, when he's not at least trying to make a counter argument, what is there to talk about? What is there to do aside from to just throw insults back and forth? And it took me too long to realize that. There's no more teaching moments involving Ethan Klein. He does not adapt his arguments. They are so generic, they have been dealt with a million times before by basically everyone at this point. There's really nothing left there. And the fact that Ethan Klein is even in such a position like this where he gets enough attention that he can actually influence people politically to support a genocide is absolutely insane. He has no merit whatsoever. There's not a single talent-having bone in this guy's body. Even if you asked Ethan Klein himself, hey, what is it about you that makes you so special? What is it about...
I don't think he's saying he's too lazy to inform the audience. I think it's more so like he's saying that he's ineffective. I guess he is calling him stupid. I think he's not necessarily calling him lazy. He's saying that he's too stupid to even be able to present his propaganda effectively. That he's not even doing anything worthwhile. I don't even see how that's a point that branches off from these, but okay.
About you that you think you're really good at. The guy would struggle to give you an answer because he's not good at anything. He doesn't deserve this position that he's in the slightest. He basically just got lucky by being in the right place at the right time on YouTube when just uploading literally anything with any level of consistency made you famous. So that we are responding to this idiot's political takes in the first time is stupid as hell. What a waste of time this has all been, aside from just the first couple of times that we did it. Unlike Ethan Klein, I make original content. For me, if I'm in a personal feud with someone, I do actually have to move past it once it's spent on its potential worth to what my channel is actually about, which is politics, history, things that matter. Ethan Klein, on the other hand, all of his content is just attacking people who don't like him. It's him whining about some criticism that he got. At best, if he talks about something aside from just like people who don't like him on the internet, it's like some celebrity gossip, which is still him talking about other people in their personal lives. So for his content to function, he needs these sorts of never-ending feuds. It's the only way that he can keep creating his podcast while putting in the least effort possible. Because Ethan Klein is fundamentally an incredibly lazy, uncreative, unfunny person whose idea of humor is whatever the fuck this is.
Apparently, it was communicated that he was reading women's feminist books on how to please a woman. That's funny.
I do have to admit, that is pretty funny.
So what does he have, aside from just
the idea? It doesn't have to be feminist books. Just reading books on how to please a woman. Amen. Practice.
endlessly causing and relitigating drama with the same people over and over again? Nothing. Absolutely fucking nothing. So he wants this to go on literally forever. But the rest of us who actually produce original content on things that matter, we don't. So unlike Ethan Klein, I'm not going to be making content about him for literally the rest of my life. The whole reason I even got into the figure of Ethan Klein in the first place was not because he's Ethan Klein. I don't care about Ethan Klein, aside from, the fact that he has been spreading genocide propaganda and the fact that he has literally maliciously defamed me and he's gotten people to stalk me in
Then sue him. Then sue him. Do it. Come on, sue him.
real life, and he has dedicated a not insignificant portion of his spare time to doxing and harassing me in a coordinated Discord server. But aside from all of that, what else is there left for Ethan Klein? There's fuck all. Unless he plans to make some sort of new argument for once, that there is some sort of value to refuting, there's just no point in at all addressing him. It's a habitual and chronic liar who had terrible political opinions, who got refuted on the basis of those political opinions, and then subsequently formed a psychosexual attachment to his former podcast host, and now has been doing nothing but attacking people who he views as attached to that former podcast host for like a year and a half at least now. Is it longer? I honestly don't know the time frame. It wasn't there at the beginning, but Jesus. Like all of this got started basically just because Ethan Klein tried to get a couple of Twitch streamers who are pro-Palestine deplatformed on phantom anti-Semitism allegations that he invented just because they are linked to Hassan Piker, because they're like his friends or his moderators or something. That is just fucking pathetic, man. What is wrong with you? Hassan Piker can't be your life, Ethan. You need a hobby. You need something else. You are visibly unwell. Like you're slurring your words. You seem like someone who's in early stage dementia.
They're literally self-snitching in the DMs.
Go watch BadEmpanada. I don't even know if you can watch it anymore. BadEmpanada, when he was being interviewed by fucking Noah Samson, and listen to him how stupid he sounds talking to Hassan. Yeah, bro, you sound really intelligent when you're fucking scripting out a video and just reading off your script. Like, of course, that sounds a lot better than someone talking live.
I offered amnesty. Now, I'm not going to say if somebody took it, but I will say that I am learning a lot of interesting things.
I've gone back and watched some of Ethan Klein's original content, his supposed H3H3 reaction classics, and they're really bad. They're just not good content, but I mean, I can at least see why some people like them. What the fuck is he doing now? I doubt the people who watch him now are watching him for much that has anything to do with why his original audience watched him, which is that they supposedly found him funny. He's just a guy complaining about criticism.
I was trying to look for this video about BadEmpanada, and somehow I just came across this. What the fuck is this?
Can you imagine how hard it is to stop Ronaldo from scoring a goal? I used to play soccer. Let me tell you, it's almost impossible. But the Iranian team just did the impossible. To the Iranian people, I say, you showed courage on the playing field. And today you show the same courage in the streets of Iran.
Remember what he said on Nelk? In Iran, they hang gay people from cranes. They hang gay people with cranes.
Endlessly for like 3 hours every podcast. Like what, 2 or 3 times a week? And the metrics aren't working out for him. Clearly the people don't like it. And clearly his audience has been replaced with a dwindling audience of people who are there for entirely different reasons. Like, they hate Hassan Piker or they love Israel. And he's just such an absurd narcissist. He's honestly baffling. There's nothing that this guy is good at. And then he has such a massive ego and he's such a massive narcissist given that is just absurd. You critique this guy and he will literally talk about you for 6 fucking months and probably send a private investigator to track you down and like dox all your family members. It's fucking unhinged. And he calls me unhinged when I act unhinged. I'm actually just playing a character. I'm just playing into Ethan Klein's delusions about me. He frames me as like this wanted international criminal who's like the mastermind behind some sort of like criminal ring on Discord or whatever the fuck it is, honestly. So I play into those delusions. I'm just like, yeah, Ethan, I'm in control of everything. And the guy, like, he buys it. His crew, like,
And I'll do it every time we talk about BadEmpanada just because it's just such like a good little like, boom, get fucked. Look at these annexures. You can go read them for yourself. 43 pages worth of like probably over 100 something tweets and messages and all types of stuff. Please, please, please let there be consequences for the U.S. The people of the world demand justice in any form, and then posting pictures of 9/11 being like, this should happen again. And I always show the one of him saying he wants to, you know, jerk off to dead children. And he says it was fake, but again, those annexures were sent to a law team that did drop him because of it. So,
honestly, they seem like deathly afraid of him because they clearly are like, Ethan, that's obviously a joke.
We all
Very
done? Cool. Thank you so much.
Live.
I really do appreciate everybody that stopped in. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I will be doing this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Go check out the stream. They've started now. Look, there he is. That's him. Bye. 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 Okay. Thanks so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. This is Captain Quasar signing off. And happy birthday, Sonia.